Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Wherever you're at in the world, welcome to Last Rounds Baseball's live commentary of the DuPont Professional Baseball League. Tonight, we are going to bring to you the Orix Buffaloes and the Fukouka SoftBank Hawks in the third game of the set at the PayPay Dome. The first game went to the Fukouka Ball Club as they won at 9-7 in a slugfest. Yesterday, it was a 3-3 tie that went 12 innings. And nobody was able to come out a winner. Lots of plays, lots of action, and a couple of plays at the plate. We're able to gun down runners for both sides in that one. And tonight, it'll be the game of the series where the Buffaloes are trying to even the score, where everybody would come away with a win, a loss, and a tie in this one. And we'll give you the starting lineups now, beginning with the visitors from Osaka, the Orix Buffaloes. Leading off in center field, wearing number 1 is Shuhei Fukuda. Batting second and playing second base is number 5, Masahiro Nishino. Hitting third and left field is number 7, Ryoma Nishikawa. The cleanup spot and doing the designated hitting is number 40, Leandro Cedeno. Batting fifth at first base is number 44, Yuma Tongu. Batting sixth and doing the catching is number 4, Tomoya Mori. Batting seventh and playing shortstop is number 24, Kotaro Kobayashi. Batting in the 8th spot and playing third base tonight is number 6, Yuma Mune. At batting ninth in right field, wearing number 9, is Tomoya Noguchi. And they are going to be facing the American right-hander, Carter Stewart Jr., who takes to the hill. He's got no record this year. He does have 2 starts. He's worked 10 2/3 innings. He's allowed 9 hits, 3 runs, all of which have been earned. He has walked 6, and he's got an ERA of 2.53. We didn't make the note of the total strikeouts for Stewart Jr. We'll get to that as well. He does have a power arm. And so Stewart, in his innings of work, he has only struck out 6. The big concern with Stewart, at least in the short term, are the amount of walks that he has issued. When you look at the course of his career, he had 25 appearances entering this season, only 2 so far. So 27 appearances in his 3 years from 2021, 2023, and 2024 in the NPB. He has walked 69 batters in 111 2/3 innings. So the big thing is the command and the control he is going to have to exhibit here tonight and keep runners off the base paths without allowing them free passes. That's your starting lineup for the Buffaloes. Now your starting lineup for the Fukouka Ball Club. Leading off tonight and playing second base is number 99, Sumi Nomura. Batting second at shortstop is number 6, Kenta Imamiya. Hitting third in right field is number 9, Yuki Yanagita. The cleanup spot and playing first base is number 25, Hotake Yamakawa. Batting fifth and left field is number 3, Kensuke Kondo. Batting in the 6th spot and playing third base is number 24, Ryoya Kurihara. Batting 7th and doing the designated hitting is number 28, Adam Walker. Batting 8th and doing the catching is number 62, Takeshi Amino. At batting 9th in center field is number 57, Riko Ogata. And they're going to be facing the lefty Hiroya Miyagi, who takes to the hill with a 1-2 record this year. 21 1/3 innings, 18 hits allowed, 4 runs all earned. He's only walked 4 and has struck out 21. And he's pitched to an ERA of 1.69. So the newly minted ace of the staff is going to have to come out and be a stopper here for the Buffaloes in this one. Well, Stewart Jr. has completed his tune-up tosses, and we're ready to get this one underway as the Hawks are donning their home white jerseys, and the Buffaloes tonight with the dark tops and, of course, the white pants. And we are ready to get this one underway. And the first pitch of the ball game here from Stewart Jr. is a fastball that comes under the hands for a ball, and the count is 1-0 to Nomura. Or check that to Fukuda. Fukuda batting .304 on the year with no homers and a couple of RBIs. As he takes that pitch it down, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. When I look at Carter Stewart Jr., he often reminds me of 2 pitchers that I remember seeing. Jacob Turner, who was a pick of the Tigers, ended up with the Marlins organization. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. Also, Matt Manning, who is with the Tiger organization currently. Tall, lanky guys in around the 6'5 plus range. Very, very long in their delivery and their movements as that pitch is swung on and fouled away. The count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that's what they remind me of, or at least both of the pitchers. And here comes the 2-2 offering as Stewart kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball's lined right to the glove of the first baseman, Yamakawa, and that is going to retire Fukouka for the first out of the inning. So one up and one away, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Masahiro Nishino. Well, for Nishino, he's batting .333 in the early going. He's got no homers and a couple RBIs. He did come off the bench late in last night's ball game, making a pinch hitting appearance, as he had taken over for Marwin Gonzalez as the first pitch from Stewart is a fastball that misses down and in, and the count is 1-0. Nishino batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Stewart as the right-hander rocks into the delivery. He kicks and fires. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 1-1. As we said at the outset, the command of the right-hander Stewart here and keeping batters off the base via the walk is going to play a key factor in the game tonight. Fastball that bounces up to the plate, and now the count goes to 2-1. So getting ahead in the count, expanding the zone, being able to maintain his command and his control of his pitches will give him a competitive advantage. But other piece is Stewart also seems to run out of steam in about the 5th and 6th innings. You always have to keep your eye on that. Fastball misses up and away, and the count is 3-1. I wonder if it's a stamina issue as much as maybe a fitness issue, but seems to be better than he was a couple of seasons ago. And that fastball misses inside, and Stewart Jr. doesn't like that. That's going to be ball 4, and Nishino is on with the first free pass of the evening. So there you have it. We'll see if that will not come back to bite the Hawks. That's going to bring up Ryoma Nishikawa to the plate. He is hitting .220 on the year. No homers and a couple RBIs. He was dropped down in the lineup last night. The former Hiroshima Cart player came over as a off-season free agent acquisition to the Buffaloes. Impact bat for the Carp over the last few years. He's having to adjust here to the Pacific League pitching. Be curious to see how he does the full second time through the league. There's a fastball that is swung on and fouled away down the first baseline. The count is 0-1 to Nishikawa. Nishikawa donning the number 7 that was last used by Masataka Yoshida. He played with the Buffaloes a couple of seasons ago. Nobody, to my knowledge, last year donned the 7 once Yoshida had left the Buffalo Ball Club. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded up the middle, and it's through for a base hit into center field as it gets by the second baseman and shortstop of the Hawks. Now Nishikawa's aboard with a single, and that's going to put runners at first and second with 1 out. That's going to bring up the designated hitter, Leandro Cedeno. And for Cedeno, he's off to a great start this season. He's hitting .319 in the early going. He's got 5 homers and 15 RBIs. So 2 ducks on the pond, and this is the guy you don't really want to be facing in this situation. He is an RBI producer, and he has had a flair for the dramatics. The big fellow bats from the right side. He's got a very wide stance. He waits here on the offering from Stewart Jr., who kicks and fires. Fastball swung on, and this is rip foul. And how much foul was it? Well, the on-deck batter is Yuma Tongu, and he was in the on-deck circle, and he had to go right onto his backside as that ball was absolutely missiled. You want to talk about a hook-barreled ball. Tongu is pretty much almost behind the batter Cedeno, and he almost got his head taken off. So here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed, and now the count goes to 0-2. That can be a really scary situation sometimes when you're in the on-deck circle. I remember it ended a couple of guys' careers. The one that came to mind was Juan Encarnacion. And I believe he had left the Marlins and was playing with the St. Louis Cardinals, and he took a ball in the face in the on-deck circle and never was able to recover, basically ended his career. And he was a steady outfielder for a few teams with the Tigers, the Marlins. So no balls and 2 strikes to Cedeno. Runner at second, Nishino. Runner at first is Nishikawa. There's 1 gone here in the top of the first. The right-hander Stewart delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. It's going to be pop foul. It's going to reach the seats behind home plate. And the count remains at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Cedeno. The big thing with the big fella here is he looks like he's been staying in the lineup as a regular. We talked about this the other night, that when you look at the Hawks lineup, you can pretty much nail down who is there. Yuki Oshudo tonight gets the night off. A couple players maybe getting nights off tonight, but it's generally every night they're playing. And there's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. Cedeno in the books for the second out of the inning, and that is going to bring up the first baseman, Yuma Tongu. But as I mentioned, it's the playing every day. Marwin Gonzalez not playing every day. Adam Walker not playing every day, although he's in the lineup tonight and he came on as a pinch hitter last night. It's the timing, it's the rhythm, being able to see the fastballs and get your timing down. The Hawks do a much better job of keeping their regulars in the lineup, where the Buffaloes, it's a roll of the dice almost every night. So Yuma Tongu steps to the plate, getting the start at first base tonight, and the pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Tongu hitting .245 on the year. He's got 3 homers and 11 RBIs. 12 for 49 is the right-handed hitting first baseman. Stewart Jr. gets the sign from his catcher, Umino. Working to the set, he checks the runner at second and now delivers a fastball that misses inside. The count goes even at 1-1. Defensively tonight for the Fukouka Ball Club, Kondo is in the left. The center fielder tonight is Ogata, and the right fielder is Yanagita. Around the horn from first to third, it's Yamakawa at first, Nomura at second. The shortstop is Imamiya, and at third base, it's Kurihara, with the battery of Stewart and Umino. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded over to third, fielded by Kurihara. He's going to win the race to the bag. That's going to be a fielder's choice. It retires Nishino at third for the third out of the inning, and that is going to do it. Well, the Buffaloes threaten, but they don't score. There was no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there was 2 runners left aboard. We are through a half inning. Your score is the Buffaloes 0, and the Hawks coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. The bottom of the first is just around the corner. Appreciate you all for jumping in here with us tonight. We'll be right back after this. It is 0 for the Buffaloes. Hawks coming to bat in just a moment. We'll be right back in just a few with all the action. Appreciate you for jumping in. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the top of the order coming to bat for the Hawks to test the left-hander Hiroya Miyagi. That means Nomura, Imamiya, and Yanagita to get things going for Fukouka here in the last half of the first. For Sumi Nomura, he is 1 for 5 in the early going this year. He is batting an even .200. And the first pitch is swung on. It is lifted into deep right center field. Racing over on the warning track and making the catch up against the wall is Shuhei Fukuda. Oh, Nomura put a charge into that one. He just didn't quite hit it hard enough. Maybe a little bit more room in the weight room for a couple more curls is on deck. But boy, did he put a charge into that. Just not quite enough to get over the fence. So he's gone for the first out of the inning. With 1 pitcher is 1 away, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Kenta Imamiya. And for Imamiya, he's off to a strong start this year. He's hitting .288. He's got a couple of homers and 4 runs batted in. And the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1 to Imamiya. Mamiya batting from the right side against the lefty Miyagi. Takes a fastball just inside, moves him off the plate. The count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Our friend Nick in the house tonight, he says, let's go Hawks, and he's eating sushi. There's a fastball that's check swing fouled away, and the count goes to 1-2. Well, welcome to the stream, Nick. We're glad you could be here tonight with us, sharing your Saturday night North American time, or maybe the early Sunday morning, depending on what coast you're on. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kenta Imamiya. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded softly to first. Fielded neatly by Tongu. He's going to easily win the race to the bag. That's going to go as a ground out to 3 for the second out of the inning. And now it's going to bring up the right fielder, Yuki Yanagita. Oh, he says he's eating a sushi dog. Oh, I see. That Nick is in the stream, and that's something that you would see from maybe a Japa dog on the West Coast, something like that. Here comes the pitch from Miyagi. It's a fastball that's blown right through Yanagita, and the count is quickly 0-1. I was thinking today that probably since Shota Imanaga left, I'd have to think that maybe Miyagi's got to be considered the best lefty in Japan. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Now the count goes to 0-2 on Yanagita. I'd have to be thinking about the Central League for maybe some of the other options. I do think that he probably is the best Japanese left-hander in Japan, and there may be some other people who might prove me wrong. I think there's somebody with the Dragons that have to take a look. I forget if we'll go Sawara as a lefty or not. Fastball misses down and away, and the count is 1-2. I have to say, I don't watch the Central League as much as the Pacific League. When you get a chance to watch one league more than the other, you really become certainly more familiar with the players. The more players, the more teams, the more difficult it is to keep track. There was a breaking ball swung on and missed. It squirts away from the catcher, Tomoya Mori. He picks it up and he fires to first. And Yanagita is going to be retired on a strikeout 2-3 for the third out of the inning. And the Hawks are going to go in order here, 1-2-3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 1 complete. Your score is the Buffaloes 0 and the Hawks 0. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back with the second inning in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for bouncing in here with us tonight. Whether you listen live or on delay, it's always great to have you listening to the Last Props Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters to come to bat for the Buffaloes here in their half of the second inning. Tomoya Mori, Kotaro Kobayashi, and Yuma Mude to get things going for the Osaka Baseball Club. Mori enters the game tonight hitting 167. He's got no homers and 7 runs driven in, as he came on last night as a late substitute. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. Our friend Nick says he's just joking. Never eat that. Loves his chili dogs and fried chicken and brisket of beef. It's good, Nick. I don't know. Some people come in and they like that other stuff. There's a fastball that swung on and fouled away. Counts 1-1. I'll be honest with you, I've never had a Japa dog. Part of it is because I can't eat the beef, and certainly the pork is also 50-50 that I sometimes can consume. There's a breaking ball missing outside. The count is 1-2. It is pretty much poultry and fish. Not that I don't like beef, it's just can't eat it anymore. Here's the 2-0. Breaking ball misses upstairs. The count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Maury. It was 19 pitches in the first inning for Stewart Jr. We'll also have to keep an eye on that for the economics of his pitch counts. The Japanese are not, of course, afraid to let him throw the ball. There's a fastball blasted foul well into the seats down the right field line. Count remains at 2-2 to Maury. Last night we had a rather late arriving crowd. Anticipate again tonight. I didn't take a look. I assume there's UFC tonight. Fastball swung on, grounded to the right side, fielded by the second baseman Namura, who throws to first. It's going to retire Maury on a ground out 4-3. So 1 up and 1 away. That's going to bring up the shortstop Kotaro Kobayashi. So Kobayashi steps to the plate. He's hitting .290. No homers and 5 runs batted in. Right-handed hitting shortstop. Saw the action in last night's ball game as well. And the first offering here from Stewart on the way. It's a fastball that comes up and in. Oh, it backs him off the plate. That was up around head level. You got to be careful of the stuff at the head level. In the NPB, it's an automatic ejection if a player gets hit in the head by a pitch. We've seen a couple of those in recent years. In fact, last year it was Yuma Tonga who got drilled in the head in Tohoku. As there's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count is 2-0. And he was automatically ejected from the game. As the right-hander delivers, it is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Early going here. We'll keep you updated on all the action from around the NPB as well tonight. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-2. Full slate of games that will hit the airwaves today. There's only one other game underway currently, and that is the game between the Marines and the Fighters. They're tied at 0 in the second. In another 10 minutes, it will be the Carp and the Giants will get underway. At the top of the hour, it will be the Lions and the Eagles and the Tigers and the Dragons. And another late start at the Jinju. A Sunday night affair between the Swallows and the Bay Stars. A fastball swung on, is grounded softly to third. Fielded neatly by Kurihara. He's going to throw to first. It's going to be a ground out 5-3. So 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to bring up the third baseman, Yuma Mune. We really didn't give a whole lot of in-depth remarks on our picks today. We posted them up a little bit later than we wanted to, and we just gave our selections for the game tonight. And one of the things, or at least one of the thoughts on this game is after that long marathon last night of 12 innings, we kind of thought that it would probably be a situation where you would probably see both of these teams come out maybe a little sluggish today, and that's kind of where we are at right now. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-0 on Mune. Friend Nick says, fish is excellent, but not raw. We were talking a little bit about his brisket and stuff, and I agree with that. I'm not a big fan of the raw fish. Breaking ball misses outside, counts 2-0. Some people really like it, and they love it, and they go for the sushi and all the rest, and I'm not knocking that. It's just not my style, that's for sure. There's a lot of other things in the Japanese cuisine that I do enjoy, as that breaking ball misses inside, and it's now 3-0 to Mune. So 3 balls and no strikes. Stewart Jr. walking into the windup again. Here's the pitch. Fastball carves the plate right in half. 3-1. Well, it looks like this is a style thing maybe for Mune. I don't know what his deal is, but he's got the full catcher's shin guard on his right leg again tonight. And we saw that a couple of times. He must have fouled the ball off his kneecap or something strange, but I find that to be rather unbelievable. There's a pitch that's down in the dirt, and that's going to be ball 4. That's going to be the second walk issued here by Stewart Jr. tonight. So free pass for Mune, and that's going to bring up the right fielder, Tomoya Noguchi. Our friend Johnny Canadiana in the house. He says, I had raw horse in Fukouka. Nick says, keep him updated. He's got the Hawks and the Carp. And Johnny, of course, is the resident Hawk fan. We're glad you can make it in tonight, Johnny. Don't always see you in the streams. I know we get you the post sometimes afterwards. As the first offering here to Noguchi is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Got all kinds of people all over the world that jump in. Certainly, the later that game went last night, we had some folks who listened to us from Great Britain in the stream. Whether they listen live or on delay, that's sometimes the difference in the crowds. Fastball misses outside, count goes even at 1-1. Some nights we get the big gambling crowd in here, and some nights we get the crowd that is just the pure baseball crowd. If we do a midnight or middle of the night weekday game, we get the Europeans that come in. Doesn't matter who comes in. We enjoy people coming to listen. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. Count is 1-2. Whether people gamble or whether they don't gamble, whether they come just for the love of the game, it's always a great piece, having people in for different reasons. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Noguchi. As the right-hander Stewart works himself to the set position, the runner at first is Mune. He gets his lead, and there's a fastball swung on, fouled away, and that's going to run the count to 1-2. Just watch that swing of Noguchi. They gave it on the replay. He was late, a little bit tied up. Timing has got to adjust a little bit more. So 1 ball and 2 strikes as the right-hander works himself to the set position. Here comes the pitch. That's a breaking ball swung on, and it's lifted foul into the seats over on the third baseline. 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Stewart Jr. gets himself a new baseball, and he's ready to go back to work again here. And the 1-2 pitch ready to come again. As he shakes off his catcher. Now he gets the sign he likes. Kicks and fires. Breaking ball swung on and missed, and that is going to put Noguchi in the books. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of the second. Well, they had no runs, no hits, no errors. There was a runner left aboard. We're now through 1.5. Your score is the Buffaloes nothing and the Hawks nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the bottom of the second in just a few moments. Appreciate you guys for jumping in here with us tonight. Whether you listen live or on delay, it's always great to have you in the house. We'll be right back after this from our friend Steve Rademacher.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and the support you give to our channel. We'll be right back in just a few with all the action. It is the Hawks and the Buffaloes from Fukouka when we return after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the heart of the batting order coming up for the Hawks to face Hiroya Miyagi here in inning number 2. That means Hotaka Yamakawa, Kensuke Kondo, and Ryoya Kurihara. The left-hander has completed his warm-up tosses, and we're ready to get this one back underway. Here comes the lefty as he delivers a really slow breaking ball, taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Our friend Luke says he took the under 5.5 just now, and I think that's probably a wise pick. And I don't know if that's for the first 5 or for the whole game. Sometimes you see teams that come back after a long game like the night before. The offense just doesn't start clicking as a breaking ball misses down. It's now 1-1. Our friend Living Room Sports says that he had a parlay that crashed last night. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-2. My advice when you're looking at Living Room Sports picks, make sure you get the picks early and then fade the living room. And there's a fastball swung on and missed, and Yamakawa goes in the books. He's gone for out number 1. That's the second strikeout of the game for Yamakawa, and that's going to bring up the left fielder, Kensuke Kondo. Living Room says cashed, more like crashed. You're missing the R in between the C and the A. All right, so here comes Kondo to the plate. And the offering is a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to third. A nice sliding play on his knees by Mune. Gets up and throws to first, and Kondo's going to be retired on a ground out 5-3. He's in the books for the second out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the third baseman, Ryoya Kurihara. It is fun watching Mune play third. I have to say, he really does a good job. When he sets up, he's got himself actually opened at about a 45-degree angle. He is more open toward the 6 hole, so it clears his hips to be able to move to his left. He was able to slide on his knees, make the play very effectively, as there's a first pitch breaking ball delivered to Kurihara, taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1. Miyagi all around the zone early here. As the left-hander delivers, it is a fastball taken for a called strike. Count now goes to 0-2. Might be one of those nights. 9 pitches in the first and already 7 here in the second. Pitch on the way, and that's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to short, backhanded by Kobayashi. He throws to first, and he's got himself one better. 9 pitches in the first and only 8 here in the second. It goes as a ground out, 6-3 to end the inning. We're clipping along here as the Hawks go in order, 1-2-3. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. Or through 2. Your score is the Buffaloes nothing and the Hawks nothing. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for listening in with us tonight on the Last Drops Baseball YouTube channel. Hang tight. We'll be right back after this.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game. Really exciting. Lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But, Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the third inning, and Carter Stewart ready to go again. Our friend, the Living Room, says that Shota Imanaga was able to wrap up that parlay for him. I take that would have been yesterday or yesterday's ball game. I don't think the Cubs played a double dip today. I'd have to go back and take a look, as that was... I know that the Rockies and the Mariners were washed out. Oh, it was a Cubs double dip today. There's Imanaga there. As that pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. They knocked off the Marlins 5-3. Imanaga had picked up the win. He went 6 strong. Fastball swung on, grounded up the middle, and it's going to get past the glove of Imamiya into center field, and Fukouka is aboard with a leadoff single here in the third. That is going to bring up the second baseman, Masahiro Nishino. Well, I think two things here. If I'm the Buffaloes, I may be squaring the bunt, but I'm sending Fukouka. I think Fukuta's got to take this bag straight out. Stewart Jr. is a little bit slow to the plate. I didn't bring my stopwatch tonight. I have to maybe go and grab it. But he's a little bit slow to the plate, not as deliberate. I think you could get a good jump off of him, and then they don't have Takuya Kai behind the plate. It is Umino who is catching tonight. So I would be challenged both of them here early, and then maybe trying to bunt the runner to third. They throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner. Yeah, Imanaga, as I was saying before there, 6 strong innings again. Lowered his ERA, or maybe his ERA jumped a bit to 0.84. He's been really, really strong. As the batter Nishino squares to bunt, and it's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. I got to tell you, they got to do a compilation. I think the Buffaloes have to do a compilation of their manager Nakajima and all the poses that he has. He has some of the strangest reactions. They take a picture of him in the dugout. He's got some of the more interesting facial gestures or expressions, maybe is the best way to put it. You got to see it. It's classic. If you're not on a stream or you don't get a chance to see as you're syncing it up, it is absolutely amazing. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted down the right field line. It's into the corner. It's going to be trouble. It's extra bases. Going in after it is the right fielder Yanagita. Rounding third and heading home is Fukouka. He's going to score the run. The ball gets away from the first baseman, and they're waving the runner around. Let's see where this ends up. It's going to be Nishino's going to end up at third, as that ball ended up getting away from Yamakawa, but that's going to be a run driven in for Nishino. We're going to have to see if they're going to give him a double on it and an error on the throw, or possibly as the first baseman. We didn't see if it hit the glove and got away, but he definitely is going to get himself an RBI. And the Buffaloes are on the board here, 1-0 in the top of the third inning. We'll watch it again as the throw came in. They couldn't see it. They had focused on the runner, Fukouka, but he scored all the way from first base. And now Nishino, we're going to have a little break here because he's been taken down the tunnel. They're going to go and examine him. Manager Nakajima looking at his roster on the board. We may have a substitution coming in here. Our friend Joe in the house tonight. We welcome you back in. And we thank you for jumping in with us. So Ryoma Nishikawa is the scheduled hitter. As we said, there's just a pause here as Nishino's been taken into the training room. That's one thing that I find fascinating, is that they'll stop the game, take the player off the field, and they'll go down into the training area. As far as I'm concerned, let's find out what's going on. We've got our friend Alberto Godino in the house. He says, greetings from Venezuela. We appreciate everybody who's listening in. As we said, it is the Venezuelans are here. We've got folks from Great Britain and other places. Nishino had pulled up at second base, and when that ball squirted away, then he took off into third. So I wonder if it was maybe when he rounded the bag, he'd popped something there. Friend Alberto says, what's the score? We have the ticker going across the bottom. It is now officially 1-0 for the Buffaloes, but if you're new to the stream, we don't usually update the ticker till the end of the half inning. So Fukouka is the run that has just crossed the plate. Masahiro Nishino is the runner, or the runner at third. And now he comes back out onto the field of play after leaving the training room. And we are ready to resume the action. It's going to be Ryoma Nishikawa coming to the plate. We got Jason Stuff in the house here, and we welcome you as well to the stream. Alberto says it shows nothing. Yeah, we'll update it, as we said before, at the end of each half inning and make the change from there. Well, Nishikawa is 1 for 1 tonight. He had a single in the first inning. but he was stranded at first base. As he comes to bat here, as we said, we'll have to wait to see the official scoring decision on that one. I'm going to probably say it's going to be a hit, more likely a double, and then that it'll be an error that brought the runner over to third, as there's a breaking ball to Nishikawa taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. 1-0 Buffaloes lead it here. They just scored a run in the top of the third. And the pitch is a breaking ball swung on, and it's grounded over to the right side. Yamakawa fields it. He's going to step on the base. Holding at third is Nishino. That's going to go as a ground out to 3. The first baseman was right on top of the bag. So he's gone for the first out, and it's going to bring up Leandro Cedeno to the plate. And for Cedeno, he's had himself a fine start to the season. We talked about him a little bit in the first inning. Cedeno did strike out his first time up, but he's got himself 5 homers and 15 RBIs on the year. And we now do have a pinch runner in the ballgame for Nishino. So whatever was bugging Nishino is still bugging Nishino. And now we have a pinch runner in the ballgame for the Buffaloes. It's going to be Ryo Adachi in the game, as he's going to replace Nishino. Probably goes in at second base. Breaking ball misses up. Adachi got a lot of playing time a couple of years ago, but he has seemed to be falling out of favor and fallen into that rotation at second. It's a bit of a black hole. Nishino, Adachi, Oshiro, Gonzalez, all rotating through that spot. Nobody really stepping up and making it their own, as that fastball back Cedeno off the plate. The count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes it is. And it was a double off the bat of Nishino, but they did not rule an error at the advancement to third, and I'm not really sure why. Fastball swung on. This is popped up into shallow left field. Coming in on it is Kondo. He makes the catch. Tagging at third is Adachi, but he's going to hold as the throw comes into the plate. So Cedeno couldn't hit the ball deep enough. He's gone for the second out of the inning. And that's going to leave it up to the first baseman, Yuma Tongu. Good throw there by the left fielder, Kondo. It was right on the money. Adachi would have been a dead duck had he decided to leave. So Jason asked the question. He says, what do we use to stream? We use StreamYards. I like that one the easiest. I don't like OBS or some of the other stuff. There's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. Count is 0-1. Played with OBS StreamYards and played with some other things over a couple of years ago, and I just find this to be almost like a plug and play, as simple as possible. Anybody can use it, that's for sure. Here's the pitch. Fastball. This is upstairs. Tongu checks his swing. They appeal to the first base umpire, but they say he didn't go, and that's going to run the count even to 1-1. You can stream with YouTube as well, right through their stuff, but I just don't find it's user-friendly. The third-party services are much better. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Tongu. There's a breaking ball missing upstairs. Count now goes to 2-1. As we said, the key to this game is going to be the walks that Stewart allows and the pitch count that he has. He's at 53 pitches here with 2 gone in the third. So here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on it. It's cued off the end of the bat foul. It's going to run the count now to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tongu digs himself back in, ready to face the offering from the right-hander Stewart. And the 2-2 on the way. Fastball that just misses outside. That pitch was at 97 miles an hour. Stewart didn't like the call. I have to tell you, we were watching the game last night, and both of those pitchers were getting squeezed, seemed, and it was both ways. It was a lot of walks. in the ball game last night. That pitch there, if he's not going to get those calls, we're going to be here for a long while here tonight as well. Strike zones make the game go quicker if you're behind the plate. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is hammered foul down the left field line, just to the left of the foul pole. Absolutely obliterated. Count remains full to Tongu. That always seems to be the way. You throw a pitch, and the next thing you know, you come back and you throw the next one, and it leaves the yard or something crazy happens. But 3-2 it remains here to Tongu. Right-hander against the right-hander. Stewart kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball, misses inside. That's going to be ball 4. That's going to be the third base on balls allowed here so far in the early going by Stewart. And that is going to bring up the catcher, Tomoya Mori. A friend of the living room says he's old, probably using a ham radio. The only ham that's in the stream would be our friend of the living room, that's for sure. So runners are at the corners. Tomoya Mori comes to the plate. He's a very dangerous hitter here. He's looking for his first home run of the year. Last night we mentioned that there were only 2 Buffalo players in the lineups that have hit home runs, and that holds true again tonight. Cedeno has 5 on the season. Tongu has 3, but every other player in the Buffalo lineup yet to hit their first home run of the season. So a bit of a power outage in Osaka in the early going for the Buffaloes. As the right-hander kicks and fires, it's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0 to Mori. One thing we didn't put as a key for Stewart's performance tonight is being able to get ahead in the count. He has fallen behind a lot to the hitters. It makes it a lot easier for the hitters to hit when the pitchers have to serve them something to hit when they fall behind. 1-0 pitch to Mori. Sometimes Mori is a bit of a guess hitter, and the pitch is a breaking ball swung on, and he's popped it up over on the first base side. It looks like it's playable. It's in foul territory. Yamakawa reaches back, and he makes the catch, and that is going to do it. Mori's going to be retired for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here. We've got a run in the inning on 2 hits. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left to board. Your score, as we are now moving to the bottom half of the 3rd inning, it is the Buffaloes 1 and the Hawks no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this. We got a 1-0 ball game. We are going to be back in just a few with all the action right after this. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the bottom 3rd of the batting order come to bat for the Hawks here. That means Adam Walker, Takashi Umino, and Riku Ogata to face the lefty Hiroya Miyagi, who's just completing his warm-up tosses. Only 17 pitches in the first 2 innings for the left-hander Miyagi. On the flip side of the coin, you've got the right-hander Stewart Jr. pushing 6 now for the Buffaloes. Ryo Adachi is officially in the game now defensively, as he had come in to run for Masahiro Nishino. Too bad. Nishino was on base twice tonight. He had walked and doubled So for him, he must have tweaked something as he's leaving the game necessarily here. So Adam Walker at the plate. The first pitch from Miyagi is a fastball swung on. This ball is hit into deep center field. Moving back onto the warning track and making the catch is Fukouka. Walker hit it a long way, just not far enough. He hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark. He is going to be retired for out number 1, and that's going to bring up the center fielder, Takashi Umino. Our friend Gracie Lynn hopping in here. She says, how's the game going? She just finished watching MLS tonight, so she figured she'd drop in for a couple innings. Thank you for being here. Last night was a game that never ended. I feel like in some ways we're still calling the game from last night. It's a fastball that misses down. It's ball 1 here to Umino. Left-hander against the right-hander. Miyagi ready to go again. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball drops in for a called strike. Counts 1-1. Umino batting .182 on the year. He's 2 for 11. He's got no homers and 1 RBI. As the lefty works himself into the motion and delivers, it's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. Gracie Lynn says, was the game that long last night? They only went 12 innings. It's true, they only went 12 innings, but it was almost a 5-hour affair. Here's the 2-1. Breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. It's now 2-2. It was like a Red Sox game on a Sunday night on ESPN. So if you're in that spot watching the game, you know it's going to be a 4+ hour affair. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's line down the right field line into the corner. It's going to be extra bases. Moving over to cut it off is the right fielder Noguchi, but it's not going to be extra bases as Umino is not going to be able to make it to second base. Not sure why. That ball was smoked to the opposite field, right into the corner. I'd have to take a look to see if he stumbled coming out of the base, but Noguchi did get over to do it. Watch it again. On the replay, ball just hugged the line. So a long single for Umino. That's got to be really disappointing. You hit the ball into the corner with the right fielder going a long way to have to get it, and you only get a single out of that. That's going to bring up the rookie Rico Ogata. Got his first NPB hit last night of the season and of his career. He's 1 for 10 to start the year. He squares the bunt, and he takes a fastball for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Our friend Gracie Lynn says, unpopular opinion, but I feel like the Yankees-Red Sox has gotten boring over the last few years, probably with neither team doing very good or both being quite bad at the same time. Outside of those marketplaces, I'd have to agree. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Getting it is Fukouka. He picks it up and he fires it in, and going all the way around to third is Umino. And so with 1 out, the Hawks have something brewing here as they've got runners on the corners. And the top of the order in Simeon Nomura coming to bat. I can't dispute what Gracie Lynn has to say. It's definitely one of those things that if you're in that marketplace for the Yankees and the Red Sox, obviously you're going to watch that stuff regular, but it is a bit hard watching those two teams, especially because they're not at their top of their game. It's still a rivalry, but it's not a rivalry that most people outside of that marketplace necessarily enjoy unless you're a fan of one of the two teams. So the runner at third is Umino. The runner at first is Ogata. It's going to bring Nomura to the plate. 1 for 6 on the early going this season. He flew out on the first pitch he saw in the ball game to straightaway center field. As Miyagi throws over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner Ogata. So Nomura waiting here on the offering as the left-hander works himself to the set. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 1-0. Our friend Joe says, is there robotic umpires in the Pacific League? And if not, do they plan on adding them? Well, I'll answer that question in two. No, it's regular umpires. There's no pitch clock as well here in the NPB. It has been discussed But I do think there are things that they do to keep the game moving without a pitch clock, as that fastball is swung on and missed, and the count is 1-1 to Nomura. So some people may not be familiar in the Japanese league, is the pitchers will get up and start throwing in front of the dugout or just further down from the dugout while the play is going on. So in other words, that they come in, they keep themselves loose, can shorten up the amount of pitches or the preparatory pitches in between innings sometimes. They also move in and off the field pretty quick, and it's basically, I'd say, about no more than 90 seconds between innings unless there's a pitching change, as Miyagi throws to first and diving back in time as the base runner Ogata. So runners at the corners here with the one gone. Hawks looking to tie the game back up as they are trailing 1-0 here in the bottom half of the third inning. Buffaloes open the scoring in the top half of the inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike, and it's now 1-2 to Nomura. I usually say that, though, with the Japanese league, whatever is done in the United States and America, they are generally soon to follow. In some cases, in a lot of cases, actually. So any major rule changes. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2. I think one of the criticisms that Rob Manfred that gets under fire is that when Rob Manfred and Major League Baseball, they don't necessarily, I would say, have an understanding of the game, but they do things that alienate the baseball purists while at the same time trying to attract new people to the game. And I don't know if they do a great job of the mix of that. You want to sell the game on its merits, as there's a breaking ball waved at and missed. Nomura's in the books. He's gone for the second out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the shortstop, Kenta Amamiya. Third strikeout in the books here for Miyagi. Tracy Lynn says she's apologized that she comes in and talks about MLB and other sports. Doesn't know all that much about Japanese baseball. Japanese baseball is, and as I said before, it's a kind of, there's almost an innocence to the game. An innocence to Japanese baseball where you get a chance to watch, get a chance to see how the game is played. It's almost like you're stepping back into America, into 1956, how the game should be played. And some of it has to do with what I would say is maybe the athletes that are playing. When you think of the Latin players and the American players, and even the top Asian players that come over, the physicality, the big, strong players, they can throw hard, they can run fast, all the rest of that stuff. Johnny also says less politics too, yes. And Jason says he doesn't quite like some of the rule changes. I agree. I think some of these rule changes are rather fast-tracked through. There's a fastball swung on it, has popped up on the right side into shallow right field. Giving way is the second baseman Adachi, and making the catch is Noguchi, and that is going to retire the side here. We'll come back and talk a little more about the Japanese in just a moment. No runs in the inning. There were a couple of hits. The Hawks threatened, but they don't score. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left the board. Your score as we move to the top of the fourth inning. It is the Orix Buffaloes 1, Fukouka SoftBank Hawks no score. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight. 1-0 Buffaloes when we return after this. One little scoring note before we keep going. There was an error charged to the Hawks on that ball that was hit by Noguchi. The only thing we don't know is was it to the first baseman Yamakawa or to the right fielder. We'll be back here in just a couple moments. Appreciate you guys here as we will continue to take our little break. We'll be back in 30 with all the action. It is 1-0 Buffaloes when we return. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, or check that. It's going to be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters to come to bat for the Buffaloes in this one. It's Kobayashi, Mune, and Noguchi, as they are going to be facing Carter Stewart here. We mentioned that Stewart's pitch count had ratcheted up big time. He's at 59 pitches, almost at 60. As the first pitch is a breaking ball delivered for a called strike. The 0-1. The difference between Miyagi and Stewart is definitely the pitch counts as time has been called at the plate. Our friend Luke states, he goes, well, they got lucky. They've had 5 outs with a guy sitting on third so far tonight, and he's absolutely correct. Not only had you guys have a horseshoe with you, you got the whole horse, I think. And you are super lucky again. As that fastball swung on and fouled away, the count's 0-2 to Kobayashi. I do like the fact that they're limiting the shifts. I don't mind moving the players around and moving guys defensively, but certainly the other part I don't like about it is there's a fastball that swung on and chopped foul over on the first base side, is that you're a hitter at the plate and they're playing you to shift, or they're shifting on you. What does it tell you about your hitting? What does it tell you about your approach? You're definitely not a foul line to foul line hitter. You're a guy who is pretty much a one-dimensional hitter. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. Guy that always comes to mind to me is David Ortiz. Not only is David Ortiz a designated hitter, but he was a pull guy. And he made a Hall of Fame career of yanking the baseball. And I never thought he was what I call a phenomenal hitter to watch. It was just as that fastball swung on and missed. And I don't mean that out of disrespect to the Red Sox fans or anything else. I mean, Big Papi had some great moments, but he was a designated hitter for one, and I'm not sure that necessarily designated hitters like Harold Baines or Edgar Martinez, that's that predominant position, necessarily are complete players because they're just there for their bat. Anyways, that's a whole other topic, but there's a fastball that misses down, and the count is quickly 1-0 to Yuma Mune. Mune is still sporting that catcher's shin guard on his right leg. Gracie Lenz says she's not a baseball purist, but she likes keeping tradition. Most of the rule changes, but the ghost runner is ridiculous. I think so 100% as well. I actually don't mind the 12-inning rule in the regular season that the NPB produces, is that breaking ball is taken for a called strike. And why I don't necessarily mind the 12-inning rule is that when you think about Major League Baseball, how many games really over the years would go past 12 innings, and how many people would sit there to stay to watch it? Especially in the regular season. You get into the playoffs, it's a whole different kettle of fish, but certainly in the playoffs or in the regular season, to cap the game at 12 innings, I'm actually not a problem with it. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch is a fastball taken for a called third strike. Mune stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by. Stewart painted the inside corner. And Mune is gone for out number 2, and that's going to leave it up to the right fielder, Tomoya Noguchi. And by our accounts, that's the 4th strikeout tonight, registered by Carter Stewart Jr. He had 6 coming into the game tonight in his 10 1/3 innings, and he's already got 4 here tonight. And the first pitch to Noguchi is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Jason says about the pickoff limit, I agree. I'm not a big fan of the pickoff limit either. The breaking ball misses down, and the count is 1-1 to Noguchi. I mean, controlling the running game is important. Yeah, we do want to get stolen bases back into the game. But to me, the pickoffs over to first base are not something that is the impact to be able to do that. As soon as you get to 2 pickoffs over to first, it could be off to the races. We're going to get a look here. That ball almost hit Noguchi. I don't think it did. Oh, it did. And they're going to award him first base. So they have given Noguchi first base on a hit by pitch. I don't know. I think that might have been worth challenging a little bit. Noguchi really never reacted like he got hit, yet the umpire awarded him the bag. Well, that's going to bring Fukouka to the plate. Fukouka is 1 for 2 tonight. Takes a fastball off the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-0. Jason also says the 1 timeout per at bat is also kind of dumb. I think so as well. I saw something the other day, and they're saying if you're having to have announcers watch games and they don't understand what the rules are, that ought to tell you that the game is too complex as that fastball misses inside. I think of that with the NFL sometimes, just how the complexities of some of the rules. You need a Harvard lawyer to be able to give you what the rules are. So here comes the 2-0 pitch from Stewart. As he kicks and delivers, it's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is now 2-1. I also missed the National League rules where the pitchers get to hit. And Jason says they need to stop promoting the home runs only. I agree with that as well, because the fundamental skills of the baseball, everybody's trying to play for the 3-run homer. Here's the 2-1 pitch. There goes the runner down to second. The throw down, and it's in time. It's going to get Noguchi. The throw was not a good one by Umeno. It was a really nice play, as Imamiya had crawled up the ladder to catch it, to come down and apply the tag, and that is going to retire Noguchi. He's going to go down caught stealing 2-6 for the third out of the inning. That's going to do it here for the Buffaloes in the top of the fourth. There was no runs in the inning. There were no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now going to the bottom of the fourth inning. We'll come back and continue to chat with the chat. Appreciate you guys for being here. Your score is the Buffaloes 1, the Hawks no score. Bottom of the fourth coming up right after this. Appreciate you guys for hanging in.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. 1-0 as we cruise to the bottom of the fourth. The Hawks Honeys are out in form tonight as they're wearing their pink and they got their bunny ears on. We'll be back after we share with you some of the Honeys. Welcome back, everybody. We appreciate you for being here. It's going to be the bottom of the fourth inning. We've got Yuki Yanagita, Hataka Yamakawa, and Kensuke Kondo coming to bat. Fred Gracie Lynn says she misses watching Max Fried bat. Most of the pitchers were easy out. She's okay with limiting it. They talk about, one of the things they talk about is speeding up the game, as there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Yanagita. Yanagita 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his first time up. You want to speed up the game, keep the pitcher in the batting order, because it's kind of a dead out in the order, and it really rewards the teams, as that breaking ball misses up and in, who have good hitting pitchers. And there's never been a ton of them over the years for the amount of pitchers that play. But a good hitting pitcher gives you an extra bat in the lineup, as that fastball swung on and fouled away. If I remember correctly, I think the average designated hitter batting average about 10 years ago was about 270, but the average pitcher batting average was like 100 points less. Well, you want to speed your game up. There's one right there. Take a bat out of the lineup. Make the pitchers hit. Fastball swung on, grounded to short, fielded by Yanagita, or fielded by sorry, not Yanagita, Kirbiashi throws to first, and Yanagita is retired. Ground out 6-3. Still thinking of last night's game as we were in the catbird seat here. Boy, it seemed like forever. That game was going on. Here's the offering. It's a slow breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. Gracie Lynn said, took me a second, but the Hawks Honeys aren't Japanese cheerleaders, then I'm lost. That's exactly what they are. They call them the Hawks Honeys. It's 8 of the 12 teams in the NPB have cheerleaders. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-0. And on top of it, I believe Orix this year, they were talking. I haven't seen them yet because even though we did a couple games, they were saying that they were going to be the first team with male cheerleaders. And here's the 2-0 pitch. There's a fastball that misses, and the count now goes to 3-0 on Yamakawa. I know our friend, the Living Room Sports, was looking forward to having some of the male cheerleaders posted up on the stream. So 3 balls and no strikes to Yamakawa. And the pitch on the way, it's a fastball swung on, and it is lifted foul over on the first base side. Moving over underneath it is the catcher, and Tomoya Mori makes the catch. That's going to retire Yamakawa for the second out of the inning. Our friend Jace's stuff. Yeah, well, I say that with full tongue in cheek. I don't think the living room would care for that. Gracie Lynn says, I think pitchers should bat throughout the spring. Max Fried hitting 240. Yeah, well, if you got a pitcher hitting 240, that's like a positional player hitting 340. 100-point, add an extra 100 points. Some good hitting pitchers over the years. There was a Tiger pitcher, Earl Wilson, could swing the bat. Mike Hampton, former Met and Rocky, he could really put a charge into the ball. I think he was with the Astros as well. Fastball misses up, and the count's 1-0 to Kondo. Kondo today is 0 for 1. He grounded to third his first time up. Starting to cool off a little bit as the breaking ball is swung on, and this ball is hit to deep right field. Maybe we said that a little too early, and this ball is gone. A home run for Kondo. That's going to tie the ball game. Words out of my mouth. He's starting to cool off a little bit, and just like that, puts a charge into the ball. It hugs the right field line, stays to the left of the foul pole, exits the yard, and we got ourselves a 1-1 ball game. So a 2-out shot here by Kondo has tied the game at 1. That's going to bring up the third baseman, Ryoya Kurihara. Gracie says Madison Bumgarner swung a good bat. So did Carlos Zambrano for years for the Cubs. Some really good hitting pitchers. In the Japanese league, there's one of the Nishis over with the Hanshin Tigers can swing the bat. There's a fastball that misses, and the count is 1-0. Jason says the Mets old overweight pitcher. No, I don't think Bartolo Colon was a good hitting pitcher. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. I know he did hit a home run in San Diego, but I don't know if the bat hit the ball or if the ball hit the bat in that one. So 1 ball and 1 strike as the lefty kicks and delivers a breaking ball swung on. This is lifted into straightaway center field. That's going to do it as Fukouka makes the catch, and Kurihara gone for the third out of the inning. 1 run in the inning on 1 hit. It was the home run by Kondo. There was no errors and nobody left the board. We're now through 4 complete. Your score is 1-1. Appreciate you guys for jumping in here with us tonight. And I appreciate you guys for listening to the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this with all the action for inning number 5. This is the swing inning for a lot of people. We'll let you know all the action when we return. Hang tight. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the top of the order coming up for the Buffaloes. That means Fukouka, Adachi, and Nishikawa to face the right-hander Carter Stewart Jr. Getting number 5 here for the Hawks right-hander. As we said, control has been the question. He has walked a batter in 3 of the 4 innings, and he has also hit a batter. As the pitch is on the way, and the first pitch is a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is 1-0. So I think if I am the Hawks, I think my hand is on the telephone and we are on high alert. Fastball just misses outside. It's now 2 balls and no strikes to Fukouka. If he can get into the 6th inning, then that's probably a good thing. You don't know if he's ready to take himself to another level yet. He might be another year away from that. He's really got to just work on that command of his fastball. Here's the pitch. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-1. He's got a lot of late life on the pitch. Friend Gracie Lynn said she saw on Twitter today, but apparently a position player had a 1-2-3 inning striking out people for Nashville. I think, remember right, Nashville's Milwaukee's minor league organization. As that fastball misses inside, it's now 3-1 to Fukouka. Ryo Adachi waits his turn on deck. It'll be his first at-bat in the foray tonight. So here comes the 3-1. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. That's going to be ball 4. It's a leadoff walk. The 4th free pass issued by Stewart tonight. That is going to bring up the second baseman, Ryo Adachi. From a pitching standpoint, when your team gets you a run, you got to come on back and put up a 0 so you can maintain some momentum. There's nothing worse than you score a run, you get back into the ball game, and the next thing you know is somebody gets a walk and then a base hit, and then you give up a run or 2 and you give the lead, or you take the tie out of your hands right back. They throw over to first. One of the reasons they throw over to first base is, especially in Japan, is they want to read the hands of the hitter. They want to see if they can do that. Our friend Joe asks, how did they score? It was a solo shot by Kondo. As they throw to first base and diving back in time is the base runner Fukouka. Gracie Lynn says, maybe there's an obscure rule against it, but how come we don't see any switch pitchers? Well, Pat Viente or Venenente, or however you said his name, there's a fastball that is Adachi squared the bunt on, but he missed, and the count is 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Ryo Adachi. I would think that he's still going to be in a bunt situation here. I would have probably straight steeled Fukouka myself. Was it Pat Vendetti, or I forget how you say his last name, but former Oakland A pitcher, Toronto Blue Jay pitcher, and there's a fastball that misses up. Counts 1-1, and that's not all that long ago. It's been in the last 15 years where they had a 6-finger glove. So it worked for both hands, and so depending on the batter, but he had to announce before the batter came to the plate which way that he was going to throw, so that allowed the hitter to have the option, if he was a switch hitter, to bounce to the other side. Yeah, as far as I know, you can't switch in the middle of the at-bat. The pitcher has to make the announcement, but then the other part is once a hitter comes to the plate, if he's up as a right-handed hitter, unless there's a pitching change, I believe he's got to maintain the same side. That's something, there have been some rule changes because of that recently, or adaptations. You certainly don't want a guy going side to side on the plate. There was a game at the Koshin Stadium in the high school championships in Japan, and a guy kept going side to side on the plate. If you go on to YouTube, as we are on here, there's somewhere you can see it. There's a fastball that misses down. Counts now 2-1. I guess that's what you do when you're not good enough. You gotta bounce side to side from one side to the other. Try to distract the pitcher more than anything else. Turns the game into a clown show. 2-1 it is here to Adachi. Again, squares to bunt, and he gets it down, and it's bunted right back to the pitcher. Stewart fields it. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Adachi. It's going to go as a sacrifice. 1-4 in the books. It advances Fukouka over to second. Adachi for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the left fielder, Ryoma Nishikawa. I remember when you're searching YouTube after the game and you're looking for some highlights, there was a pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. I want to say it was Vincent Velasquez. He was a right-hander, and they were playing in a game. It might have been the Pirates. And he threw a pitch, and somebody hit a comebacker to the mound, like a one-hop shot, hit him in the throwing arm. The ball trickled away. He threw off his glove. He picked it up with his left hand and his opposite non-throwing hand and fired an 82-mile-an-hour ball to first base to retire the runner. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Nishikawa. He'd come off, it was, I think, a one-hop shot, hit him in the pitching forearm. He got rid of the glove, came off the mound, fielded it with his opposite hand once he removed the glove. It was on the third base side where the ball was, and he ended up getting the out. That had to be about maybe 6 or 7 years ago. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses inside. Count is even at 1-1 to Nishikawa. Somebody says you show up to the ballpark and you see something new every day. And there's a lot of truth to that sometimes. You go to the ballpark and you see something a little bit different. And you say, wow, I've never seen that before. You see variations of it and different things, but sometimes that is the case. You see some weird and crazy stuff. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses down and in, and the count now goes to 2-1 on Nishikawa. So 2-1. Runner at second, Fukouka, but now time is called as the catcher Amina racing out to the mound, probably to talk to Stewart about what they're going to do with the runner at second base so they don't have to flash the signs. Interesting that when the catcher comes out, they don't have an interpreter, but when the coach comes out, they have an interpreter. What possibly could the catcher be saying that the coach wouldn't? Why can't the catcher bring his own interpreter out there? Here's the pitch. It is a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. The count now goes to 2-2. Gracie Lynn says she pitched in an informal amateur league through 117 pitches, 7 2/3, and she pitches ambidextrous. 15 outs right-handed and 8 left-handed. There you go. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and Nishikawa gone on strikes for the second out. What I'd be curious to see is if somebody could go out and pitch a double header. You go out and you start right-handed, and you pitch the whole game right-handed, then you come back and you pitch the whole game left-handed in the second end of a double header. I think there was a college program that had somebody do that one time. Your fitness level's got to be off the charts on a double header. So 2 gone, runner at second is Fukouka, and now it's Leandro Cedeno stepping to the plate. I could throw both hands, not particularly great. I could throw enough batting practice left-handed to the kids at this point now, and it's been more out of necessity because I had about maybe 7-8 years ago some shoulder issues where we had some tendonitis in the shoulder, and we'd be doing camps and stuff in the summer, and it was hard because you had a hard time lifting your hand over your head. 1-0 and no strikes to Cedeno as the right-hander Stewart gets the sign. Here comes the 90th pitch of the ball game for him. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike, and the count now is even at 1-1. So certainly in your right shoulder, that's an issue and a problem. And then your other issue is or at least that was my issue. Yeah, you battle through it for time, and it's so fine. Now you got to sort of push your way through some stuff. But learning how to throw left-handed because of it, because it was just, okay, we got to do something out of necessity. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball swung on. This ball is lined into left field. It's down for a base hit. Kondo fields it. And stopping at third was the runner, Fukouka. I would have probably sent Fukouka. That ball took a wicked hop. Kondo had to crawl the ladder to get it, and he came down kind of on an in-between, and he fired it in. They held up the batter, or they held up the runner at third base. Cedeno's got himself another base hit. He continues his strong hitting. So they're going to have runners at the corners now with 2 out. Watch it again on the replay. I still think I would have sent Fukouka. I don't know if that throw ended up online or not. Put the pressure on the defense. That's runners on the corners, and it brings you and Tongu to the plate. Tongu tonight 0 for 1. He's bounced into a fielder's choice, and he has walked. And the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. Jason says he was umpiring a game in Double-A Little League, and a kid was picking up the ball and gave it to the catcher every time the ball came to their foot. Yeah, you see some weird stuff. The weirder stuff you see is usually at the younger levels of the games. There's a fastball swung on and his pop foul into these seats. We saw some weird stuff today in our beatdown that we took today with the kids I'm coaching, and holy geez, some of the things that we did. We're supposed to play the same team again today, and I told the other team, don't worry about coming out. We're going to take a practice on this one because we're not in the same class as you guys. And they were cool with it. They were like, yeah, you guys need to do some work. And I'm like, yeah, we do. We got a lesson in 101 in baseball. So no balls and 2 strikes. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. Lined into right field. That's going to get a run in. Fukouka is going to score. Yuma Tongu, good piece of hitting. He's got himself a single and an RBI. Stopping at second is Cedeno. And the Buffaloes have regained the lead. Our friend Luke that was listening in here earlier was hoping for the under 5.5 in the ball game. Boy, Luke, you want to make sure that under 5.5 holds you through here in the 5th inning. This was the concern about Stewart. I talked about at the opening of the stream, and it was his walks. That's number 1. So we got a walk that scored a run here, cashed in. Inability to get ahead in the count. That's number 2. And then the third thing is his pitch counts. Everything's just ratcheting up on him here. He's approaching 100 pitches, and we're in the 5th inning. He's not going to be long for this place here. Our friend Jason says about different stuff. It's every place seems to have a different term of what they call their leagues or associations. There's a breaking ball that swung on and missed. Count is 0-1. Gracie Lynn says, imagine benefits of a team being that have bullpen issues. You can bring a guy left-handed and right-handed. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and now the count's 0-2 to Tomoya Mori. 96 pitches now for Stewart. I would have to say this might be the end of the rope, although with last night's game going 12 innings and having to use the bullpen, they might try to stretch him another inning. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. As the right-hander delivers, it's a split finger pitch that's spiked into the dirt. Nice block there by the catcher, Umeno. Hall of Famer George Brett, who was the third baseman of the Kansas City Royals, talked to some of the guys in the minor leagues, and they said Brett could throw both ways. He could throw right-handed and left-handed. I had no idea that was the case. It's pretty impressive, to say the least. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. The miss is down and away, and the count now goes to 2-2. Two-one Buffaloes now have the lead here. It is in the top of the 5th inning. They've just scored a run. The runner at second is Cedeno. The runner at first is Tongu. As the right-hander comes to the set. Pitch on the way. It is a fastball that misses, and the count is 3-2. Our friend Joe asked the question, how often do you stream? We're generally on the weekends. There's going to be a couple of weekends we won't be when we get into the month of June. And we are going to do some midweek stuff as well from time to time. And we do sprinkle in some major league stuff once in a while as well. So our goal is to get this year about 150 games. And so last year, I think we did around 125 to 130. Fastball swung on, popped up into shallow right field. Moving over underneath it is the second baseman, Nomura. He's there and he makes the catch, and that's going to do it. Well, the Buffaloes regain the lead as a walk to Fukouka, a sacrifice by Adachi, and then an RBI single by the bat of Tongu has given them the 2-1 lead. 1 run in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom of the 5th inning, it is the Buffaloes 2 and the Hawks 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. We'll continue to chat with the chat tonight. We appreciate guys that are hanging around with us, listening in for all the action with this one tonight. We'll be right back in just a few after this. We got a 2-1 ball game in Fukouka. We're moving to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. The bottom half of the 5th inning is incoming, and it's going to be the bottom third of the batting order. It's going to be Adam Walker, Takashi Umino, and Riku Ogata to come to bat. So 7, 8, and 9 here to face the lefty Hiroya Miyagi, who has pretty much cruised through his time. 100 pitches for Carter Stewart Jr. through the 5 innings, 20 pitches per inning. A little bit rough there for him. And it is going to be Walker, Umino, and Ogata to come to bat here. Walker flew out to the deepest part of the ballpark his first time up, straightaway center field. He is 0 for 1 tonight. Our friend Jason says he's going to try to learn lefty. It takes a while. You know, you got to kind of walk yourself through it. I'll tell you another thing. There's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. When I teach kids how to throw and we're working with the younger kids, especially the 8-year-olds and stuff, and breaking down the process of the throwing mechanic and trying to get the kids, there's certain things that I look for in the throwing process. There's a fastball that swung on and missed. The count goes to 0-2. And when you're breaking it down with the kids and trying to teach them how to throw and how to play catch, you can go out and watch teams play catch. And just on how they play catch, you can say that's a classy team or that's a trashy team. Just how they take care of the baseball. Fastball misses inside. The count is 1-2, especially at the youth levels. And so when you're out watching the games and how they play catch, how they warm up, how they go about their business, how you're trying to teach the kids how to play. As there's a fastball swung on and it's fouled off the catcher. Trickles down, foul over on the first base side. The count is 1-2. Very impactful. You know, so what are the important things, at least for me, in the throwing process? So when you're teaching the kids, I said, well, if I'm going to learn how to throw left-handed, I got to follow what I'm teaching the kids. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses down, and that's going to be 2-2. I'll share with you what I think is important in throwing, but I also maintain it not just at the kid level, it's the college level or pros or semi-pros that you're working with. I've got 5 things that I'll talk about, and I'll share some other stuff from other people that, you know, they're important. To me, number 1 is the glove side finish. Your glove is the most important first piece and the easiest to correct. It's going to give you the aim, and it's also going to keep you in line to your target. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on and missed. Walker's in the books. He's gone for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up the catcher, Takashi Amino. So the glove side finish, that's going to control you. It's going to keep you in line with your target, going to keep you in the direction. The second thing that we really focus on is the arm circle. You got to be able to create a nice arm circle. We don't want to throw pies or grenades. We want to create a nice, smooth, easy arm action. As that fastball misses down, and the old saying, thumb to thigh, ball to sky, let it fly, is the age-old process. And you'll see people when they take the ball out of their glove, do they take it by their thigh? Do they pull it out? Do they bring it by their side? Fastball swung on, taken on 1 hop by the second baseman, Adachi. He gets up and he throws to first. That's going to retire Amino. That's going to go as a ground out 4-3. So 2 outs in the books, and that's going to bring up the center fielder, Riku Ogata. So for those of you who joined us, we appreciate you guys. We're here in the bottom of the 5th inning. It is 2 gone here as Walker and Amino have been retired. It's Ogata coming to the bat here. We are a 2-1 ball game with the Buffaloes, and we were talking a little bit about throwing and throwing motions and things to look for, at least from a teaching perspective. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So just because somebody throws hard doesn't necessarily mean they have good mechanics. You can have somebody throwing 95 miles an hour in the big leagues and they got trashy mechanics, and that's usually why they end up in the bullpen. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. You think of guys traditionally like Greg Maddux, even Justin Verlander, who normally have really good, smooth throwing motion. They don't end up on the disabled list all that often. Fastball misses down. The count is 2-1. Really, Verlander, until he Tommy John'd a year ago, was pretty much arm healthy free for most of his career. It was only his lower half that landed him on the DL. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses outside. The count goes to 3-1 on Ogata. So 3 balls and 1 strike. One would think that Miyagi would want to end this here. Doesn't want to put a runner on base to have to face the top part of the order. Here's the 3-1. Fastball, take it for a called strike. Oh boy. That's called the rookie treatment because that pitch looked like it was down. Miyagi, who's not necessarily an older player, but he has got some service time. He gets the favorable call. Here's the pitch. Fastball, take it for a called 3rd strike. Oh boy, Angel Hernandez shows up to umpire that last half inning. Unbelievable. He goes down on strikes to Ogata. He's going to be talking to himself as he walks back to the dugout. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. You can make anybody look like Nolan Ryan when you do that. Unbelievable. 2-1 is your score as we're through 5. It is what we like to call our Japanese halftime. So I'm going to take a mini break here. We're going to put the music on loop. We'll be back in just a bit. 2-1 for the Buffaloes as we get to the back half of the ball game when we return. Thanks for stopping in with us, everybody. Appreciate you for listening in. Welcome back, everybody. We give you the updates from around the NPB. Giants and Carp locked at zeros. Marines are trailing 5-0 to the Fighters. That game is going on, and we do have a pitching change here as the Fukouka Ball Club has gone to the bullpen as they're going to be turning it over to a left-hander. It is going to be Takahiro Hasegawa coming on in relief of Carter Stewart Jr., who is trailing 2-1 in this one. So Hasegawa on in relief as we make our notes and get ourselves updated here. We started talking in the last half inning about pitchers and the throwing motion and things that we look for, or at least I look for in the throwing motion that are important to me. We talk about glove side finish, number one. We talk about creating the arm circle. The second thing that's important is keeping your fingers on top of the ball, especially when you're teaching youngsters. And what we do is sometimes we'll even put black hockey tape on the ball or a black magic marker and draw a straight line. So when you're holding that ball with the four-seam grip, when the ball spins out of your hand, you want that one to be running true. You want the black line to be straight up and down. A lot of kids, they drop their elbow or their hand is out a little bit, and you start throwing off the side. It puts a lot of strain into the elbow and into the shoulder as that fastball is taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. No balls, 1 strike to Kentaro Kobayashi. It's 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out and grounded out his 2 trips to the plate. As the left-hander kicks and delivers, it's a fastball missing outside. And then the other 2 things that are important in the throwing motion is what we like to call torque. Torque is the push foot, or the foot that would be the throwing side foot. Your ankle torques, your knee goes, your hips fire. It creates energy from the ground up. There's a fastball swung on. It's chopped back to the pitcher. Fielded neatly by Hasegawa. He throws to first, and that's going to retire Kobayashi on a ground out 1-3. He's gone for out number 1, and that's going to bring up the third baseman, Yumamune. And then the other piece is something that we call pelvic tilt. And you see it with pitchers. Can they get over their front side is what I say to the younger kids. And that's where your throwing shoulder becomes equal to your opposite hip. It's going to help the ball travel, help it carry. You're going to help it just take the strain off your arm. But normally when I'm dealing with the younger kids, the number 1, 2, and 3 are probably the easiest to correct, and the most important 4 and 5 come with a little bit more time. So here's the offering. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into left center field, coming hard and making the catch as the center fielder Ogata had a pretty good jump on that one. That's going to retire Yumamune here on 1 pitch. So 2 gone here, and that's going to bring up the right fielder, Tomoya Noguchi. Jason says it's kind of reverse engineering, easier said than done, and he says his coaches have said more or less the same type of things. That's at least our philosophy on it. I remember there was a pitching coach with the Chicago White Sox for about 20 years. His name was Don Cooper, and I had a chance to meet Don in Perrysburg, Ohio, probably about 12 years ago at a conference. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that misses inside. And he was talking about his philosophy, and his philosophy stemmed from Sammy Ellis's days in the minor leagues. And he said basically 3 simple things when you're dealing with professional pitchers was stay tall, stay back, and stay closed. Fastball swung on off the glove of the pitcher, deflects over to Imamiya. He throws to first. That's going to retire Noguchi. And the Buffaloes go quietly here in the 6th inning. It's going to go a ground out 1-6-3 if you're keeping score along with us for the 3rd out of the inning. And that will do it here for the Buffaloes in the top of the 6th. Miyagi coming back out for the bottom of the 6th. We'll be back here in just a couple moments, everybody, with all the action. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left aboard. We'll be back in just a few with more. Hang tight. Welcome back, everybody. We got some scoring around the NPB. Other games in the Pacific League, the Eagles have taken a 1-0 lead on the Lions. That's in the top of the third inning. 5-0, as we mentioned before, bottom of the sixth. That is the Fighters leading the Marines. 0-0 Giants and the Carp. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Count is quickly 0-1 to Sumi Nomura. Nomura is 0 for 2 today. He's flown to center and struck out in his 2 at-bats. As the pitch is a breaking ball, waved at and missed. The count now goes to 1-1. Giants Carp 0-0 in the fifth. The game that's supposed to go off at the Cochin was supposed to start about 45 minutes ago, and it leads me to believe that that game is under a rain or a rain delay at this point. His fastball misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-1. There's no scoring updates there. That is supposed to be Matsuba versus Saiki. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's a fastball missing down, or check that and that's going to run the count to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nomura. Other game that's going to go off later in another 3 hours' time is the Bay Stars and the Swallows. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the right field line. One of the things I was talking about with the pitching mechanics is making sure that you stay on message. So, like, in other words, if I'm laying it out and what I teach, then it becomes, I've got to get everybody to do that. If I get you to the pitcher's mound and you're not doing that, then it's not just playing catch. How am I going to be able to get you to pitch if you can't have that stuff rectified? Fastball swung on and missed. Nomura goes in the books. He's gone for the first out of the inning. It's the second time tonight he's gone down on strikes. And by our counts, that's the 6th strikeout of the night by Hiroya Miyagi. Our friend Jason says doesn't know if he's closed, though. Fastball that's taken for a called strike. And I think what he means by closed is he's rather have a guy land closed than he does fly open. Certainly, Miyagi's actually a perfect example, the pitcher for the Buffaloes. If you ever watch him when the game starts, as he swings through a fastball, does Imamiya, and the count is 0-2. What Miyagi does is he comes out to the mound at the beginning of the game. He knows exactly how tall he is. Generally, the rule of thumb is your stride length should be your height of the pitcher. So if you're 6 foot tall, you should have a 6 foot stride length. It's a rule of thumb. When you look at Aroldis Chapman, he strides 124% of his height. Breaking ball misses outside. It's now 1-2 to Imamiya. And what happens is you'll see the pitcher, he walks down the mound with his feet. He draws a line and he puts a mark to where he wants to land. So he knows the exact distance of where he wants his landing spot to be, as there's a breaking ball swung on, grounded softly to short. Kobayashi fields it, throws to first, and Imamiya is going to be retired on a ground out 6-3 for the second out of the inning. That's going to bring up the right fielder, Yuki Yanagita. And for Yanagita, he is 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out and grounded out. As I said, we're just talking about the mechanics of the throwing process and trying to get people to do it. And the guys who play on TV make it look easy. Everybody else, it becomes really, really hard. Or harder. And certainly as baseball is a game of refinement. You got to be on the field a lot. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is popped into center field. Moving over to his right is the center fielder, Fukouka. He's there to make the catch, and that's going to do it. It's a quiet inning here for the Hawks. They go in order, 1, 2, 3. That's 7 in a row now retired by Miyagi after the home run by Kondo. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. We'll be back in just a moment. I think we are still going to see the same pitcher for the Hawks when we return here in just a few. Appreciate you guys for being here. We thank you for listening in. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the seventh inning. The back third of the ball game is coming up here. It'll be the top of the order for the Buffaloes, Fukouka, Adachi, and Nishikawa, to face the reliever Hasegawa, who's coming back out for his second inning of work. Friend Gracie Lynn asked the question if I know anything about Paraguay, and unfortunately I don't. Most of my travel has been to Asia, to Europe, and of course across North America, a little bit to Latin America, being Central America, but nothing to South America at this point. I did look at maybe the possibility of going to Chile last year as opposed to Japan, and I just wasn't ready to make that direction yet, although I would like to go to South America. That's on the hit list. Fastball ticket for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Fukouka. Still got some other fish to fry. I'd like to go to Vietnam as well. That's on my hit list as well. That's a sort of number one on the list. As that ball misses outside, the count is 1-1. Some of it's just timing to be able to go when we can get away. If we can maybe win the lottery, then we can go anytime. There's a fastball that just misses low, and the count now goes to 2-1. Spending a lot of time on the field working with the kids is always a piece, and so there's certain times of the year that you're kind of limited to your travel. And this year here, I'm going to have a couple of times, actually in the middle of the season, I've got a 4-day as I'm heading out. I'll be making my way to Oakland and San Fran, as there's a fastball ticket for a called strike. We were able to arrange some time off for our gang. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Jason says, what do you coach mainly? Well, for 7 years, we were assistant coach at college program up here. As a fastball swung on, it's popped foul into third base territory, and there's room and it's playable. And Kurihara is going to haul it in. That's going to be the first out of the inning. So 1 gone here, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Rio Adachi. So 7 years coaching, how was it? 7 years at the college level here, 1 year back east, and a year in Europe. So 8 years in total, plus then we run the business here. So we're always providing instruction, whether it be hitting or throwing. But then we also work with a group of 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds, as that fastball is taken for a called strike. Jason says UBC, yeah, for 7 years there, from fall of 2008 until the end of the 2015 season, when the head coach resigned. Then it was time for some of us also to go. Our timing worked out well. Fastball misses inside, counts 1-1 now to Adachi. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So any coaching is still coaching. It's actually kind of fun. It's when I worked with Lloyd Mosby a few years ago, there's a fastball that swung on and missed. Lloyd was a part of the Honda Super Camps from the Toronto Blue Jays, and talking with Lloyd, and Lloyd said, this is where you start and this is where you finish. You start coaching down at that younger level, and the next thing you know, you finish coaching at that younger level, and all points in between. It's kind of interesting. That's how his philosophy was. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count remains at 1-2 to Adachi. Jason says, know of a 15U team up here down in your parts. We have a group of kids. One of the problems that you find, at least when you're here, is just because there's what I call wealth in the area. Fastball swung on, chopped over to short, fielded, throws to first, and that is going to retire Adachi. Nice play there by the shortstop, Imamiya. Imamiya is pretty automatic most of the time. That's going to be the second out. Gracie Lynn says she'd like to coach a sport, but not honest if she has enough patience. Yeah, my patience was certainly tested last year. I have a group of kids. I do like my kids. I like the kids and I like the parents. And it's, you're dealing with kids who want to play. And so always the first thing to me is are you committed? Are you committed to play? Because if you're committed to play, I'm going to work with you. If you're not committed, then I really don't want to work with you. And I don't care what your ability is, but the commitment, your focus, you have to do it. Whether you're good or not is another topic. Fastball misses outside to count as 1-0. But do you want to get better? Do you want to improve? How do you want to do that, right? And so there's a way about it. And so you can see with kids and athletes is when they're playing and you say, hey, I want to give my kid an opportunity. And I think that's great. Every kid should have an opportunity. And then it becomes what you do with that opportunity. As a fastball is taken for a called strike, count as 1-1. And you see kids just on how their approach, their behavior, the way they go about their business. It doesn't start when you're 20. It starts when you're putting that in motion. So we have some kids that really didn't have a great head start when they were younger. They either weren't getting good coaching, their whole approach wasn't very good. Fastball swung on, taken on one hop as it's the second baseman, Nomura, diving to his right, gets to his feet, throws to first. Nishikawa is going to be retired on a ground out 4-3. Oh, what a play to end the inning. Come back and talk a little more about this in just a few. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left aboard here for the Buffaloes in their half of the inning. And that is now 6 in a row retired by the reliever Hasegawa. We'll be back in just a few. Our friend Fox 12 says, what's an insane live bet he can make that might hit? Well, let me give you some thoughts, and when I come back, hang tight, everybody. Appreciate you for popping in. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Fox 12 said, what's an insane live bet that I might hit? Well, I don't know if it's insane, but our friend Luke was in here earlier, and he said he took the 5.5 under on the score in this one. And I think with 2.5 innings left to play, I think I'd probably be grabbing that as well. I don't know if it's insane or not, but if you want to be insane, take the over. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think that might be something you could probably jump on in this particular ball game. Frank Gracie Len says, I feel like some of what you talk about partly becomes form at the really young level when everybody gets a participation trophy and you did great. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of some of that stuff. Oh, where it becomes people are the cheerleaders, right? They, I sometimes look at teams when they play and I say that team is a really athletic team, but they're not very good technically. Fastball taken for a called strike, especially when you're dealing with youth sports. You say, well, what happens in a few years when one team gets better technically and they maybe have a little bit less talent? And sometimes that can overcome the kids with the talent. There's a breaking ball swung on, chopped softly in front of the plate, fielded by Mori. He throws to first. Yamakawa in the books. That's the way you want to retire him. That's a ground out 2-3. A swinging bunt, it seemed like. Never been a big fan of the participation trophies, but it is the world in which we live in. And certainly when you're north of the border, the thought process up in Canada is certainly a little different than in the United States. And when I lived on the border next to Detroit, we spent a lot of time in the States, and I got relatives in the Lansing area and different parts of Michigan. And, growing up, you could see just the mindset of the competitiveness of the sports. There's a breaking ball missing down and away. And, it's close enough seems to be good enough is the attitude north of the border. And I've never been a big fan of that. But then the other piece is there's just so much choice, especially in the area I live now, where you have just so many sports. Kids aren't what I call focused. And what I mean by this, I do like to have kids play multiple sports, as that breaking ball is taken for a called strike. But I don't like kids playing two sports at the same time. So in other words, the traditional pathway for a lot of Americans would be baseball, football, and basketball. You might play all three of those sports. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is now 1-2. Our friend Fox 12 says Windsor is the armpit of Canada. I love it there. The clubs, the casinos, and poutine. Well, some people say it's the armpit. Some people say it might be the starts with another end of the word with an A. And that's the way it goes. Breaking ball misses. The count's now 2-2. Jason says, question, 1 year away for high school, anything I could do about heading in this year and my high school year? I take it Jason is probably in grade 8, if that's correct, or if I'm not, or you're going to be going to high school, or you're going to be entering your senior year. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Not sure. You're going to be entering your senior year of high school? Oh, grade 8. Yeah, I would probably say, Jason, as you're obviously at 5'9", you said earlier on, that's a good size for a grade 8. I got a boy who's with me right now who's 5'10". Actually, I got 2 boys that are 5'10" in grade 8. They're huge. They're big kids. And one's really, really strong. That's one thing. You got to get stronger. Let's say check swing foul ball. But it doesn't mean to go in and to lift weights at this point. What I talk about getting stronger is your natural weight. Yoga is good. Stay flexible. You got to be able to do your push-ups, your sit-ups, your crunches. You got to be able to do your chin-ups, your natural body resistance weight. Once your body starts to develop, especially that after the grade 9 year going into grade 10, that's where I start to encourage the weightlifting. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed. Kondo gone for the second out of the inning. So the physical size of the athlete, if they're, depending upon where they're at, if you're 15 years old, Gracie Lynn says she's 4'7", full-grown adult, 4'7". Yeah, so not the, not whatever else. Here comes the, not height wasn't probably in that side of the family. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. And by major league standards, I'd be considered a small righty. I'm 6'2". Anybody 6'2" and under are considered small righties. Here's the pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike. Count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So yeah, you got to get physically stronger. And then usually at that point, then you start getting into the weight room. And that also depends on kid to kid. As that fastball misses down and away, it's now 2-1. Two balls and 1 strike. Miyagi holds set. And here comes the pitch. Breaking ball swung on. It's going to be lifted foul into the seats down the third base line. Runs the count to 2-2 on Kurihara. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, the physical size of the athlete, as we said, and then the strength, you got to get stronger. And so I used to say rule of thumb with the kids, if you can add miles an hour to your heater every year. There's a fastball swung on. It's lined down the left field line, but it's just going to be hooked foul off the bat of Kurihara. It's going to keep the count at 2-2. Gotta say, Hiroya Miyagi's been outstanding tonight. He's exactly what the Buffaloes needed here. He needs to come out and give them a good start. He needs to absolutely deal. 2-1 ball game here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 2 gone. And it's 2-2 to Kurihara. Miyagi had 83 pitches. I would not bat an eye that he comes out for the 8th. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball down, swung on and missed. Nice stop catcher Mori. He throws to first. That's going to retire Kurihara 2-3. That is going to do it here for the 3rd out of the inning. 2 more strikeouts in the inning for Miyagi. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. We're now through 7 complete. Your score is the Buffaloes 2 and the Hawks 1. We got the last couple innings coming up. It's going to be high-end entertainment before we leave. Our friend Gracie Lynn says she's tapping out at the end of this half inning. The game is just about to begin, Gracie Lynn. We appreciate you for listening in tonight. You have a great night. I'll be right back here in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for listening in. Hang tight, everybody. More baseball coming up after this. Welcome back, everybody. Gracie Lynn and her parting ways says, we wish your Vancouver NHL team good luck in the playoffs, but she wants her Predators to win. Not a good matchup for Vancouver. It could be a tough one. If there is an opportunity to get to one of the games in the series, for me, it will be Game 5, which I believe will go a week from tomorrow. But I'm not going to be able to get to too much action. We'll have to see how that goes. We do have a pitching change on our hands here, as it is going to be another right-hander coming in. This is Ryotaro. And I hope I say this correctly. It's the first time I've had to call his name out. This is going to be Sawayangi, as he takes over here. So first time I've seen him pitch, so we're going to find out what he's all about. And he's going to have to be tasked with the heart of the order, Cedeno, Tongu, and Mori. So we get in the books, this is going to be the third pitcher used tonight. So Sawayangi on in relief. Or Sawayanagi is how it actually is pronounced. There we go. As there's the pitch that misses down to Cedeno. It's 1-1 strike. Cedeno tonight 1 for 3, single in 3 trips. Jason says he is primarily a positional player, not getting many radar guns. There's never too late. I never really started to get on the mound until I was about 17. Didn't even really pitch my 16-year-old year. Just swung the bat. Fastball swung on and missed. Counts 1 and 2. I talk about pitchers. Hitters, if you could prove that you could swing the bat, you'll continue to be advanced along in the levels. If you can't swing the bat, you better find a way to get onto the mound. And when you get on the mound, you have to be able to project. So just because you have success as a pitcher, if you don't project, you're not going to get an opportunity to progress along. That's just the way it is. Fastball swung on and missed. Cedeno in the books via the strikeout. So the right-hander Sawayanagi coming in strikes out the first batter he faces, and that's going to bring up the first baseman Yuma Tongu. Tongu tonight is 1 for 2. He's also drawn a walk and driven in a run. He knocked home Fukouka in the 5th inning to give the Buffaloes a 2-1 lead. And here comes the first offering to Tongu as the right-hander kicks and delivers. Fastball saws the plate in half, and the count is 0-1 to Tongu. So no balls and 1 strike. Right-hander holding to the set position, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a split finger pitch, waved at it. Count now goes to 0-2. Check that. It was actually a breaking ball that was down. It's a very similar movement. Sometimes we don't always get the ball out of the hand. We can pick it up on the replay. So no balls and 2 strikes. Sometimes when you see some of the pitchers, you can anticipate because you've seen them enough, you know what they throw. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that is spiked down. Skirts away from the catcher, Mano. So it's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Had quite the crowd last night in the game here as we had just a pile of people. But of course, that game went on forever. So we've got 1 ball and 2 strikes as the right-hander holds himself to the set. Now he kicks and delivers. Breaking ball misses down and away. The count goes to 2-2 on Tongu. A couple of folks were asking earlier when we're going to be on next. Well, we won't be on later in the week here, but I'm going to try to squeeze in a couple of midweek games. I just have to decide if we're going to do a major league game or not. That's something that I may consider adding into the mix. Scores from around the NPB. The game is underway at the Cochin Stadium. It was a late start. Bottom of the first inning, the Tigers and the Dragons are at zeros. Bottom of the 5th inning, it is still 0-0 with the Carp and the Giants. As the right-hander Sawayanagi holds to the set position. Here's the 2-2. Fastball misses down and away. It's now 3-2 to Tongu. Still 5-0 at Escon Field. The Fighters have that lead over the Marines. That's in the top of the 8th inning. Bottom of the 4th inning, Eagles are still clinging to a 1-0 lead against the Lions. In this game here, it is 2-1 right now for the Buffaloes. And here's the 3-2. Fastball swung on. This is going to be lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats. Count remains at 3-2. Our friend Drake in the house, he says, still here. He says, big winner last night, but my comeback bet pushed. That's unfortunate. Well, we appreciate you for popping in tonight, Drake. Here's the 3-2 pitch as the right-hander delivers. It's a fastball, misses upstairs. It's going to be ball 4. Tongu's going to be aboard with a 1-out walk, and that is going to bring up the catcher, Tomoya Mori. And for Mori, he is 0 for 3 in this one, really struggling at the outset of the season. He entered the fray tonight hitting 167. See what we have here with the walk to Tongu. It looks like we may have a pinch runner coming in for him. So Tongu's night is over. We'll see what they're going to replace him with. Going to be number 36. It's Tetsuya Yamashi, as he is entered into the ball game. So Mori at the plate here, as we said, 0 for 3 tonight is average. As there's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. As we said, Tomoya Mori entered the fray tonight hitting $167. A pitch almost came in and hit him. It just sort of hung up in the air. In fact, I don't know. Maybe you might want to take a look at that. It might have clipped him. And it had clipped him, and they have given him the base. So, yeah, that is a hit by pitch to Mori. If you're going to get hit by a pitch, that's the kind of pitch you want to get hit by. It looked like it just grazed him. Almost want to be embarrassed by that. Puts runners at first and second. It's going to bring up the shortstop, Kotaro Kobayashi. Drake says he's hoping for more Hawk late runs. We'll see what happens here. Here comes the pitch. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Kobayashi. Kobayashi 0 for 3 tonight. Grounded out twice and struck out. Batting from the right side here against the right-hander Sawayanagi. As I said, our first look at Sawayanagi. Well, Josh in the house. One gone here. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. It's now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Runner at second is the pinch runner for Tongu. That's Yamashi. The runner at first is Mori. 2 balls and no strikes to Kobayashi. 1 gone here in the top of the 8th inning. Right-hander works himself to the set position. Checks the runner at second. Sawayanagi delivers a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Waiting his turn on deck is Yumamune, as the Buffaloes are threatening here in the top of the 8th inning, trying to extend their lead. Here comes the 2-1. Breaking ball, taken for another called strike, and the count goes to 2-2 on Kobayashi. Drake says 2 outs. No, only 1 out right now. Cedeno struck out to begin the inning, and everything else, it's been a walk and a hit by pitch that has brought us to this predicament. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kobayashi, as the right-hander Sawayanagi holds to the set position. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on. This is going to be lined into left field, and it's caught by Kondo. He throws back into second, and just getting back in time is the base runner Yamashi. He got off a little too far off the bag. Kobayashi gone for out number 2, and that is going to leave it up to the third baseman, Yumamune. Drake says he won good on Ryan Garcia, so if I lose this, it's no sweat. UFC fight night tonight, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure where that ended up with the fights. Not a big UFC fan. I kind of know what goes on a little bit, but never been a huge, full respect to the UFC fighters. They're outstanding athletes, but never really got into the sport, even in its infancy. Here comes the first pitch to Mune. It's a breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. Always a big fan of boxing. Definitely like the sweet science. Mune, who is 0 for 2 tonight, he walked his first time up. He's seen his batting average slip down to 212. He's played some stellar defense, though, for the Buffaloes, and that has come into play again tonight. So here comes the 1-0 pitch as the righty delivers. A fastball swung on. It is hit to the left side of the infield. Moving to his left is Kurihara. He throws to second. That's going to retire Mori on a fielder's choice, 5-4. What a great play to end the inning there by the third baseman, Kurihara. No runs in the inning. There were no hits. There were no errors. And there was 2 runners left aboard. We're now moving to the bottom of the 8th inning. Your score is the Orix Buffaloes 2 and the Fukouka SoftBank Hawks 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. Appreciate you guys for jumping in here with us tonight. We'll be right back after this. Or maybe a little of that. Welcome, everybody. We are moving to the last half of the 8th inning, and Hiroya Miyagi is coming out for inning number 8. He is slated to face the bottom third of the batting order in Adam Walker, Takashi Umino, and Riku Ogata. So 7, 8, and 9 to come to bat here. He has retired 10 in a row, has Miyagi. He's been absolutely outstanding tonight. The only blemish is the home run off of the bat of Kensuke Kondo, who did that back in the 4th inning. And the first pitch on the way is a breaking ball that misses down and away to Walker, and the count is 1-0. Walker tonight has flown to center field, and he has struck out. The ball that he hit the center field was right to the deepest part of the park, right onto the wall, where Shuhei Fukouka had pulled it in. Breaking ball waved at and missed. The count goes to 1-1. Our friend God is great in the house. Titus is here. He says, listening in the background and drinking his sake. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right center field. Moving back onto the warning track, and they almost collide. Oh boy, there's going to be some talk going on there. Fukouka and Noguchi ran into each other. They just grazed each other, but Noguchi's going to be the one that hauls it in. That's going to retire Walker for the first out of the inning. And that's going to bring up the catcher, Takashi Umino. So Walker's hit some sky-high balls tonight. Maybe it's time to get back in the weight room for Adam Walker. He just needs a couple of more feet. Both of those balls would have been gone. So Walker retired for 1 out, and the first pitch delivered to Umano swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. Miyagi at 88 pitches now, so one would have to think that he might be their best closer. I wouldn't bat an eye if he came back out for the 9th inning. Give the Buffaloes an extra day rest for their bullpen, as they had to use quite a bit of it last night. Here's the pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2 on Umino. Bottom of the 8th inning, Buffaloes have a 2-1 lead over the Hawks. It's been a quality ball game tonight, much like last night. Very intriguing as that breaking ball misses down and the count goes to 1-2. Last night's game went the 12 innings, and it was a well-played ball game. A lot of action last night of the game. Of course, there were a couple of runners thrown out at the plate, and a little bit of pitching, a little bit of hitting. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded foul over on the third base side, and the count remains at 1-2 to Umino. Umino 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and 2 trips. He's grounded to second. Bats from the right side here against the left-handed throwing Miyagi. As the lefty now kicks and delivers a fastball that swung on and missed. Goes in the books. He's gone for the second out of the inning. Yet another strikeout here for the left-hander. And by our count, that is 9 in the books now by Miyagi. Absolutely electric. I'd said at the top of the stream, in my opinion, he's probably the best left-handed pitcher. Best Japanese left-handed pitcher in the NPB right now, especially after Shota Imanaga left. I think there's anybody better than Miyagi. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Others may dispute it. The way he's pitched tonight, he's putting that stamp on this. Here comes the 0-1. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count runs even to 1-1 on Ogata. Looking ahead to the 9th inning, it's going to be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters to come to bat for the Buffaloes. Fastball swung on, chopped slowly over to third. Mune fields it. He throws on the skip. And that's going to retire Ogata. It's a ground out 5-3, and that will do it here for the Hawks in their half of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. We're now through 8 complete. Your score is the Buffaloes 2, the Hawks 1. Stick around, everybody. The top of the 9th is on the way. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us tonight. See if we can get ourselves some runs. Friend Matt might be able to help us out to do it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city, San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's another Hollis build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is a right-hander on the hill here for the Hawks, and we'll get that for you in just a second as they have made yet another pitching change. This is going to be number 14, Kitsuki Matayoshi, coming into the ball game. We did not see Matayoshi in last night's affair, so he is the fourth pitcher used tonight by Fukouka. So Kitsuki Matayoshi on in relief, as he is going to be taking over from Ryotaro Sawayanagi. So Sawayanagi's night is done with one inning of work. It was an entertaining inning of work. He kept everybody a little excited, made them a bit nervous. So the right-hander Matayoshi is going to be set to facing Noguchi, Fukuda, and Adachi here, the 9-1-2 hitters in the top of the ninth inning. Buffalo's clinging to a 1-0 lead here. Just updates from around the NPB in terms of scoring. Bottom of the second inning, nothing at the Cochin between the Dragons and the Tigers. The Giants now have a 1-0 lead in the top of the sixth over the Carp. 5-0 Fighters still have the leads in the top of the ninth inning over the Marines. 1-0 in the bottom of the fifth. The Eagles still have the lead over the Lions. And this one here, it's 2-1 as we are moving it to the top of the eighth. Swallows base stars go off in about 2.5 hours' time. Breaking ball misses outside. The count is quickly 1-0 to Noguchi. Noguchi tonight officially 0 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch. He is grounded out and he has struck out. And the offering from the right-hander, fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. The count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-hander ready to go again as he delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. Count now runs to 1-2 on the batter, Noguchi. After this one's over, we'll give you the recap from the games from around the NPB. Last night, we didn't do much of a recap. We were on this thing for almost 5 hours. Seems like a walk in the park tonight. Pitch, breaking ball delivered. It is swung on and lifted foul over on the third base side. It's going to drift into the seats, and the count remains at 1-2 to Noguchi. This is Noguchi's first, well, actually, it's his second game, but the first time he's been in the starting lineup to get some at-bats in the 2024 season. He and Fukouka had that collision in right center field. As the 1-2 is on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on, grounded softly over to second. Fielded on the hop by the second baseman, Nomura, who throws to first. Noguchi in the books, ground out 4-3. That's going to retire him for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the top of the order in Shuhei Fukuda. For Fukuda tonight, he's been on base a couple of times. He's got a single and a walk, but he scored both of the Buffalo runs. He's also lined to the first baseman and popped to third. And here comes the first pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is hit past diving second baseman into right field, and it continues here for Fukuda, the hot bat. That's his second hit of the night. He's got himself a one-out single. That's going to bring up the second baseman, Ryo Adachi. More importantly, what I'd like to see is it is going to be Miyagi getting a chance to close out the game for himself in the ninth inning. He has pitched really, really well tonight. Opportunity for a complete game victory here. Thing I'm kind of curious about is how many complete games are we going to see in Major League Baseball this year? And who will be the league leader in complete games? I'll take it for a called strike. I can count as 0-1. Adachi came in to replace Masahiro Nishino back in the third inning when Nishino had to leave the game when he tweaked something going from second to third after he had doubled. Advanced on a throwing error, or maybe it was a fielding error. I'm not sure exactly who it was the error assigned to. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It's chopped back to the pitcher. They go to second for one, back to first. I don't think they got the play at second base. The runner was on the move. Fukouka was on the move, so they stay out of the double play. Matayoshi fielded it, threw it to second to the shortstop covering. But Ryo Adachi is going to be gone, so it's going to go down as a 1-6-3 putout. So he's out for the second out of the inning. Fukouka is safe at second, and that is going to bring up the left fielder Ryoma Nishikawa. And for Nishikawa tonight, he is 1 for 4. He singled the first time up, then he grounded to first, struck out, and grounded to second. Averages at 221 on the season. Here's a pitch. Breaking ball misses upstairs, and the count goes to 1-0. I have to admit, I'm not really sure that I like the approach at the plate for Nishikawa right now. Early in the season, he really battled. I like the way that he was trying to stay inside the ball, go the other way, but I think he looks like he's a little bit pull happy last couple of days. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on it, is lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. The count is 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Don't forget to bookmark the channel if you come on back and listen to some more action. We'll be back on the airwaves again next weekend. We're going to try to maybe squeeze a game or two in the midweek. Haven't quite decided what we're going to do yet. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Nishikawa as the right-hander Matayoshi holds set. Now delivers. Another fastball delivered and swung on and fouled away. And the count is 1-2. Ball, 2 strikes. Just looking down the line at the future action of who we would probably look at selecting to call next weekend, we're probably going to lean towards the Hawks and the Lions on the Friday night North American time. And if we did that, we'd probably stay with that on the Saturday night North American time as well, because that would be, just like this week, it was a 10 o'clock start on the Friday and then a 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. start on the Saturday. Probably look to stay with that routine. As Nishikawa has asked for time and stepped out of the batter's box, he wants to take a couple of cuts. But right now, there's nothing that really pops during the week, so we'll have to take a look. They are calling for some rain in the midweek, so anything that we did do, we'd look to make it a dome game, maybe the Lions and the Buffaloes. A lot of rain in Japan in the midweek. Here's the 1-2. Fastball swung on. This ball is drilled into right field, and it's going to get over the head of the right fielder. It's off the wall. That's going to get a run in. They were playing shallow because they needed to be able to get a chance to throw Fukouka out at the plate, but they drilled the ball right over the right fielder's heads. So Nishikawa is in to score, with an RBI. In to score is Fukouka. That's going to be the 3rd run of the game. He has scored all the runs tonight, has Fukouka. So RBI for Ryoma Nishikawa. Ball was absolutely scorched. The right fielder, Yuki Yanagita, was playing in very shallow because any type of ball, they had to have a chance to be able to throw the runner out. That's going to give Miyagi a little bit of extra room to play with in the ninth inning. So it was a double and an RBI for Nishikawa. That brings up Leandro Cedeno to the plate. He's 1 for 4 tonight. As the right-hander holds to the set position. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball taken low, and the count is 1-0. We do have a pinch runner in at second base now. Nishikawa's night is done. It is Haruto Watanabe who came into the game last night. He'll stay in for defensive purposes. There's a fastball delivered to Cedeno. It's swung on and fouled away. It's reaching the seats on the first base side of home plate. 1-1 is the count. Friend Drake says, I put down $200 on Ryan Garcia as well, so he's feeling great. Just missed a little bit about that. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now is 2-1. Jason Stuff asked, who scored? Well, it was another run here by Fukouka. He was driven in by Nishikawa. Dalen Stewart in the house says he needs to be under 5.5. 5.5 seemed to be the run. I think there was a fellow, Luke was in here earlier, said he took the 5.5 under, and it's a 3-1 ball game here right now, so you still got a little bit of room to play with. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses outside. It's now 3 balls and a strike. Miyagi will try to close his own game out. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Cedeno. Runner at second is Watanabe. And that's going to be ball 4 to Cedeno, so he's going to be aboard with a walk. And now they've got a conference on the mound as they've put him on, Cedeno, that is. And coming to bat here is the replacement, or scheduled to come to bat. Yuma Tongu's spot in the batting order is occupied by Tetsuya Yamashi, because they ran for Tongo in the last half. And so Yamashi in here, the 30-year-old up to bat, batting from the right side, waiting on the offering from the right-hander. The pitch is a fastball swung on. It's lifted into deep right field. Moving back on it is Yanakita, and he makes the catch, and that is going to do it. That's going to be out number 3 here in the 9th inning. Well, they got to run to the Buffaloes for some insurance. 1 run on the benefit of 2 hits. No errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. Go to the bottom of the 9th. Your score is 3-1. We'll be back in just a couple moments after we get a little bit more water to clear our throat. We'll be right back after this. Appreciate you guys for listening in with us tonight. Hang tight. We'll be back in just a few. Three-1 is the scoreline. We'll be back in just a few minutes. We appreciate you guys for jumping in with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Hang tight, guys. Bottom of the 9th, right around the corner.
Let's go. Yo. I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it. Fuse like a magnet, lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be a pinch hitter here as Sumi Nomura's night is done. It is going to be number 7 for the Hawks that is coming up here, and that would be Akira Nakamura making an appearance. So he is in the pinch hit. Nakamura coming to the bat here to face Miyagi. You don't see that every day as the breaking ball is taken for a called strike. They bring in a left-handed stick to face the left-handed pitcher. You don't see that in North America. Watanabe stays in to play left field for Nishikawa. There was a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul. The count is now 0-2. 97 pitches for the lefty Miyagi as he's trying to close out his own game. I often wonder sometimes maybe you should be getting a save not only for getting the win here, you're saving your own game at times. Fastball swung on, grounded over to second, fielded by Adachi, throws to first, and that's going to be 1 in the books. So ground out 4-3 for out number 1. So all you guys that are fist pumping for the under right now, you guys are got to be laughing at that. Our friend Troll in the house tonight. Welcome back in. We missed you there. We thought you'd be in for sure earlier on. You were barking for some of the games. We're going to be back on the airwaves again as we were talking about next weekend, but we might try to squeeze a couple games in the week. We might actually call a couple midweek MLB games in the daytime. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to make some adjustments and see. Our schedule's kind of settling down a little bit. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1 to Imamiya. We sometimes do the morning games, so we'd have to go take a look at what the MLB schedule is going to look like on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And that's the case. You may hear us in the daytime. We might try to squeeze a couple in on Monday. There's an afternoon game with the Yankees and the Athletics. Breaking ball, chop foul behind home plate. Count goes to 0-2. So that could be on the radar if we do a day game at that point. On Tuesday, there's no day games in MLB, so we would stay off of that one. Wednesday, there's a couple of games in the afternoon, and one of them would be the Cardinals and the Diamondbacks. So that would be something to watch. There's a fastball swung on, is grounded past the third baseman Mune into left field. Imamiya aboard with a 1-out single. That's never a good thing. It's going to bring the tying run to the plate, and it's going to be Yuki Yanagita coming to the plate. Also on Thursday, there's also more afternoon baseball in Major League Baseball with the Brewers and the Pirates, the Red Sox and Guardians, Phillies and Reds, White Sox and Twins. So any one of those 4, depending on the pitching matchup, that's usually how we pick the games, is who's pitching. Who do we want to see pitch? Sometimes if you got the 4 and the 5 starters going on, it's not always tantalizing. Here comes the offering to Yanagita. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. That might be the best pitch Yanagita is going to see in this at bat. Troll says Marlins and Mets. Troll says he'd be there for that. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-2 to Yanagita. Yeah, so we'll try to maybe push that one across if we do some midweek Major League Baseball stuff. Haven't done anything yet this year, so kind of giving it the thought to maybe run a few off. Do a few this week. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-2. We did talk about how we were going to try to do 150 games this year. Well, it's not going to happen unless we start doing some MLB stuff in the midweek or even some more Japanese games. I think we're approaching the 25 mark of the number of games that we have done to this point. There's a fastball that swung on and it's lifted foul. The seats down the left field line, and the count remains at 1-2 to Yanagita. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hawks only got a couple outs left to try to do some damage with here. And again, batting from the left side against the lefty Miyagi. There's a breaking ball swung on, its tap foul slowly over the first base coach's box. Count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Miyagi looking to put the icing on the cake of a very fine performance tonight. He's been absolutely outstanding. And here comes the 1-2 pitch as the lefty works himself set. Now he kicks and delivers. Fastball that just misses up and away, and the count goes to 2-2. Fred Troll says, well, getting me into the KBO. No, we don't do any of the KBO stuff. That's reality of it is that it's you gotta know the league and you gotta know some of that stuff. We had some people that were wanting us to do the Caribbean Winter League series or possibly even some of the Latin American stuff. Fastball misses outside. And I said, the reality is we just don't know all the players. Getting reliable feeds is another piece to that. And so it just takes too much to be able to do it. And then once we get through the 150 games that we're going to try to call this year during the regular season and playoffs, need a break. Here comes the pitch, 3-2, and it's a fastball swung on and missed. Oh, Miyagi blew it by him. And that is going to sit down Yanagita for the second out of the inning, and that's going to bring up Hataka Yamakawa to the plate. Although I will say this, that the plan for 2025 is to spend more time in Korea, and I'm going to try to get to some stadiums in Korea next year. That would be the goal. I'd like to see some KBO live. I was doing some early homework, and they don't have as big a stadiums as they do in the NPB. There's not too many that are above 25,000. That strikeout to Yanagita is the 10th of the night for Miyagi. And here's the pitch to Yamakawa, and he checks his swing, but went around. No balls and 1 strike to the big fella. Just a reminder, after this game is done, we'll wrap it up. And then we'll also look at that out-of-town scoreboard and put this one to rest. So no balls and 1 strike to Yamakawa as the lefty Miyagi works himself set. Here's the pitch. Fastball that just misses inside. The catcher Mori didn't like it because stuck the pitch and held it there for a bit. Jason says the CPBL would be funny. Nah, I don't know about that. The Taiwanese League, not sure I'd have an interest in doing that stuff. That's for certain. There's a fastball swung on it. Is grounded foul just to the left of the third base bag. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Yamakawa. Jason says, where can you find the KBO? Usually the same place you can find the NPB on the QQ. Not always. KBO, they were showing obviously on ESPN during the pandemic. Well, here they are. The Hawks down to their final strike. Miyagi delivers fastball swung on, lined into right center field. This ball is going to get down for a base hit. Fukouka cuts it off. He fires it back in. Getting all the way around to third is the runner Imamiya. That's going to put runners at the corners now. So the Hawks aren't dead yet. They're going to get a pinch runner in the game here for Yamakawa. That's going to bring up the left fielder Kensuke Kondo, who's already homered tonight. It's also going to bring the pitching coach out to the mound to have a couple of words with his lefty Miyagi. So Kondo, who homered in the 4th inning, that was his 4th of the year. Very dangerous part of the order. You just can't sleep on any of them. If Yanagita doesn't get you, then Yamakawa might, or maybe it's Kondo. These 3 running together here are 3 impact bats. I can only imagine if they could have an import bat that will allow it to carry on here as well. Jason asked the question, does anybody remember that ball is gone like my ex-girlfriend and will never return? Yep, that can always be the case. And just like a bus, there'll be another one rolling by shortly. Well, we got a pinch runner over at first base for Yamakawa. He didn't pick up the number there. I'm just surprised it's not Yukio Shudo. Shudo would be the obvious choice for us. There's a fastball swung on his chop foul. Nope, it's fair ball, and is it or not? Some have their hands up, some don't. It looks like it's going to be a strike to Kondo here. Everything all just came to a stop. A little late on the call. So no balls and one strike to Kondo. Yeah, the first baseman who had fielded the ball for the Buffaloes, Yamashi, had got over to the base. Made the play, but the umpires had made a late call. Kind of reminded me of what got Bruce Bochy ejected this week. There's a fastball that just misses outside, and the count goes even to 1-1 on Kondo. This would be a great situation that if you could get Kondo to wave at a breaking ball, maybe throw him a changeup, get him out in front. I don't know what Miyagi's changeup would look like here. He does throw a changeup. Fox 12 says, come on, Orix, you bums. Yeah, you got it. Arizona Cardinals wants to know if we're calling any more games later on tonight. No, we can't do anything more tonight. We're going to pack it in. It was a late night last night and an early morning today. Had to come home and take an afternoon nap. We got about 3 hours in the afternoon. Absolutely gassed. Here's the 1-1. Fastball swung on and fouled away. It's down the line. It's sliced into the temporary seating, and it's going to be 1-2 to Kondo. He surprisingly hit that ball a long way. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. The runner at third, Imamiya. The pinch runner at first base is Taisi Makihara, as he had come in to run for Yamakawa. And so the 1-2 is ready to go here. Lefty works himself to the set position, and he holds at the belt. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Once again, down to their final strike are the Hawks. As it's 2-2 here at Kondo, the manager Nakajima. Again, as I say, I've got to go back maybe and take a compilation and some screenshots of Nakajima. Just his reactions are priceless. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as the lefty works himself set. Yagi kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball down. They say that Kondo went. A nice block by Mori. He's going to apply the tag. That's going to be the 11th strikeout of the night, and that is going to do it here as the Buffaloes are going to salvage a victory out of this 3-game set. Each team goes 1-1-1 in Fukouka. And I've been saying all along, this is going to be the preview of the Climax Series. All smiles for Nakajima. The mascot's coming out to give him a back massage. No runs in the inning. There were a couple of hits. There were no errors, and there was 2 runners left aboard. Your final score is the Orix Buffaloes 3 and the Fukouka SoftBank Hawks 1. I'll come back in just a couple moments to wrap it up, give you the out-of-town scoreboard, and then we're going to knock it down and call it a night. We appreciate you guys for being here with us. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in 30 with all that other information. Hang tight. We'll be right back after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, we'll wrap this one up for you. It was the Shuhei Fukuda show tonight as he scored all 3 of the Buffaloes' runs in this one. The Buffaloes jumped out to a 1-0 lead in the 3rd inning. Fukuda led off with a single, and then it was Masahiro Nishino who drove him in with a double. He advanced to 3rd on an error. That made the score line 1-0. The Hawks came back with a run in the fourth with 2 gone. It was a solo shot by Kensuke Kondo, not even the scoreline at 1. That was all Buffaloes after that. In the top of the 5th, Fukouka again led off with a walk. He was sacrificed to second by Ryo Adachi. After Nishikawa struck out, a single by Leandro Cedeno put runners to the corners, and then it was Yumatongu stepping up and knocking home Fukouka with the second run of the ballgame. The Buffaloes put the game on ice in the top of the 9th inning. With 1 out, Fukouka again was the man. He singled. And after a ground out, it was a double by Ryoma Nishikawa that brought home Fukouka with the 3rd run of the game. And that is where it ended. An absolutely stellar pitching performance by Hiroya Miyagi. A complete game victory, going 9 innings and striking out 11. He was absolutely fantastic here tonight in this one. He faced 32 batters and was absolutely electric in his time of work. Again, your final score was the Buffaloes 3 and the Hawks 1, 3-7-0 for the Buffaloes, 1-5-1 for the Hawks. And that was how this one wrapped up. Just a couple more pieces before we sign off. We'll give you the out-of-town scoreboard update. And as I said, we will post our schedule a little bit later and probably try to squeeze in a couple MLB games as well tonight. So looking at the out-of-town scoreboard on the top of the 6th, nothing, Carp and Giants. The Mazda Zoom. Nothing between the Dragons and the Tigers. Interesting there because it looked like the Giants had scored a run, so they must have taken the run off the board on a replay. We'll have to go and try to find out what happened. So nothing on the top of the 4th between the Dragons and the Tigers. Other final score in the NPB, the Fighters knocked off the Marines 5-0. And then the Eagles are still clinging to a 1-0 lead in the top of the 7th over the Lions. Once again, your final score here was 3-1 as the Buffaloes come away with the victory. All right, everybody, we appreciate you guys for all listening in tonight. Troll, Jason, Dalen, Gracie, Lynn, our friend Arizona Cardinals, anybody else who we may have missed, our friend The Living Room, of course, always hanging around. Not to mention Drake and everybody else, Fox 12. Thank you guys for listening in. It's what makes this stream the best when we got all kinds of people coming in to listen. Once again, you've listened to another Last Raps Baseball video production. Have a great night, everybody. We will see you again later in the week. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow.